this gorgeous jazz music.
I don't remember that.
Could be this.
I don't think. But by the way, but saying jazz and gorgeous in the same sentence is a contradiction in terms.
He could be in a coffee shop at the counter. But also to further Shameless's point that he's also talked about commercial ovens quite a bit here, at least with me. It was quite a bit about commercial ovens, which is kind of weird for a person who doesn't work in the food industry. If he were to not,
Well, you
work
could
in
have a history of working in.
yeah, of course, that could be a possibility.
He's not sitting in a dining room. I can guarantee that. I have years of experience listening to wiretaps of people talking in a dining room.
Oh my God.
Really?
Are you joking?
No,
What do you do?
Russell's a spy.
I'm a spy. They were federal wiretaps of mafia people.
Oh,
I
that
used
sounds
to
Oh, wow.
transcribe for the U.S. Attorney's Office in New York.
Yeah, so what did Lawso figure out about me?
Nothing.
It's just skepticism.
Oh, come on.
I want
No.
to
He was
believe you.
talking about he was talking about his experience as a Russian spy.
Yeah.
And
He was trying to lay out his look. He made
Well,
it
no,
plain.
he just said
Actually did say it.
He was
he just said that he had heard
Look.
a lot of wiretaps, and so he knows what it sounds like to be in a dining room. And it
Yeah,
didn't sound
he
like you
was-
were in a dining room.
look. He was laying out his bona fides because he made a dubious claim, right?
The claim
now
was
he's
that.
trying to
Oh, that was his
substantiate-
only
So that's
claim.
why. So that's
Dining
why
room.
I asked him.
He
What
knows it because he's
I-
heard a lot of
That's
dining
why
room.
I asked him, "What does he know about me?" And you
He
said
knows that you aren't
So
in a
he-
dining room.
No,
Well,
hold
The
on.
Go
reason why
ahead,
he knows
go
that
ahead,
you're not in a
Lawso.
dining
Hold
room
on,
is because
hold
you
on.
listen to a lot of dining room wiretaps, motherfucker.
He wasn't he wasn't making a claim about you per se. He was making a claim
Yes,
that
he was.
I
he
saw he put a text.
I guess he
chat.
was.
He told
Oh,
me, look at the
let me
text
read
chat.
it.
Why,
All
you
he's
wanna-
saying is you're not in a
Helena,
dining
why are
room.
you
Is
white?
he right or
Helena,
not?
why are you white knighting for?
Is he
No, I
right or
didn't see
not?
the
Like-
text chat.
He's like little trash.
But you can make the argument that the quality of the audio from that time that Lassel has experience with to now might be different enough that it might not make it be that reliable. Of
It should be
I'm so
clearer now.
surprised. I'm so surprised they're falling for the meme. That's
I
the
can't
that's the
find
surprising part.
Russell's thing in the chat.
I said in the chat that he should tell the patrons to be quiet.
Oh yeah, okay.
So that presumes
Sad.
he's working in the back, not in the dining room.
Patrons would be in the dining room,
Yes, they would.
so you would need to be in the front to tell them to be quiet.
That would probably make more sense unless you yell very loudly.
Or if it's a sushi restaurant.
Sure. For a diner where they have the
Yeah,
opening
so
you could pass plates back and forth.
So something about my presentation puts a little bruise in their fifis. It exposes some little insecurities, and they need to soothe that through some sort of self-aggrandizement
this
by
is
saying
ridiculous.
that I work some menial job, right? But
No,
listen,
this is ridiculous.
The wonderful
You're
part
claiming
about
that we
it
have
is,
it's our feelings that are guiding these
Excuse
things,
me.
and we gave you a
Excuse
rational
me.
chain of inference for why we thought
excuse
that.
me, bro. Why does he get over talk? Why?
Background right now.
Yeah. And do you literally think that someone working at a restaurant would be able to be on Discord as much as I am? Constantly spewing the vitriolic, caustic verbiage that I use on a regular basis?
No one
how
said you
smart
were
are
a
you?
good employee.
How
Yeah.
smart
I
are you?
I I think if there's a restaurant business going on at all, you own the restaurant. And the
people
memeing part, the
hypothesize.
memeing part is that you're a dishwasher, and
People
that I think
hypothesize
is
that
a
it's
terrible
family
meme.
restaurant.
Right.
That's what the hypothesis is, because the same problem that you've raised has also been one that we've thought hard about, and it does require some order of explanation.
That's
But
sad.
I want to take umbrage really quickly with something you said. You said to Helena that the reason why we're saying these things is because our fifis are hurt and we want to paint you out to be working in a menial job. No, it has nothing to do with our feelings. I gave Helena a rational chain
Yeah,
of
and how do
inferences.
you? How
No,
are
hold
you?
on. Before you
how
interrupt,
do you
I
have
gave
access?
Helena a rational
How do you
chain of
have
inferences for why I
access?
thought that you
How do
worked
you
there.
have
Now that's
access?
different from
How do you
saying
have
that my
access?
fifis guided that. No, I
How
have
do
a
you have
rational chain of inference
access
that I
to
presented.
the average person's intentions? So the average person in this room, because that's what I would be referring to, right? Who would engage in such, let's say, speculation. How do you
That's
know
false.
what they're thinking?
You
How
watch
do
the results
you
their
know?
actions
I'm
bring
not
about.
speaking for
You
anyone in
watch
this
the
room other than
results their
So you
myself.
can
actions
see
bring
their
about.
thoughts.
Listen, I'm not speaking for anyone in this room other than myself.
That's
But
what you said.
what you
We, dumbass. Why are you
listen,
so
listen.
stupid,
Oh, okay.
dude?
Then I've
You said
misspoken, and I will
we.
take that. I misspoken. I'm going to take your word that I said we, and I'm going to withdraw
Okay,
that claim.
good,
Now,
good.
what I'm telling you
And
is
so
that
I
what you
never made a
said.
direct
Hold
claim
on.
at
What
you.
you
So
said.
you,
Hold on.
look,
Before
I
you
never made a
Concrete.
direct
One at a
claim at
time.
listen,
you.
I just
So
want to be
Really?
you
clear.
speaking is irrelevant.
No, I
I
just want to be.
never
I
said
just want
you
something to be
specifically.
clear. I
It's
want something to be clear.
unnecessary because it
Said
still
it's not
stands.
going to be an accurate characterization of my beliefs that you work in a restaurant,
Nobody
because
cares
those
about
have been
yours because I'm talking
rationally
about the
guided
average.
chains of inferences. Now, I've talked with people in this server. Now, we'll make a little bit broader of a claim. I have talked with some people in this server while you weren't here, and while you were here and muted, and while we heard those things. And we speculated right the moment we heard your mic unmute and this dishes clang, we started speculating right there in front of your face. And so I've spoken with people enough to know that the reason why they're guided by that is not their fifis either. It's rational inferences based on the evidence that we've been provided. So
I
stop
mean,
making shit up.
personally, I thought
But
you
if
worked
he's
in
a
a
sous
rest.
chef, he could not have a phone this often. It's just not going to be possible.
I thought you worked in like a mom and pop restaurant maybe, or was like a manager or something, so you kind of like were able to like talk and stuff, but you still had like dishes and stuff in the back. But I mean, even if you were a dishwasher, I think it's really fucked up if anyone like would judge you for that, or
He's
like,
deafened.
oh,
He
right.
couldn't be a
The re-
dishwasher either.
Yeah, but like even if you were, like I think it's really not
I
chill
don't
to
think
like,
anybody's
judge on
more.
that.
I
agree.
We're
I
not
don't. I
talking
just
about.
Shamos just said that like we were not trying. Certainly, I wasn't. Nor
Shamos, what's
the
the inference you were making?
Shamos said that he wasn't like moralizing or trying to like put him down.
What the
because of
inference
that.
is of why I think that he works in a restaurant
Yeah.
over the past few months, probably 6 months or more, I've heard him unmute between the hours of 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. In a good portion of those times he's unmuted, I've heard clamoring of dishes in the background, in the distant background, not someone clamoring, washing the dishes themselves. So me and other people, given that evidence, have hypothesized that it's likely that he works in some type of kitchen or restaurant setting. Okay? That's
So
the
here's the wonderful part about this. Seamus obviously is not around enough, right? Because he's been working at his 9 to 5, right?
I just got this job, by the way.
Excuse me, bro, chill out. If he wasn't working at his 9 to 5, he would know that the last couple of weeks, if not months, I've been on from morning till night. And anybody who's a regular knows that. So it's not just a matter of sneaking out to make a comment every now and again. It's constant fucking Discord.
I don't
This is
think
so
he could
childish.
have a restaurant manager job and be on the a restaurant manager. He couldn't be a cook. He couldn't be a busboy or a
Man,
dishwasher.
what job do you think would allow for this type of behavior? About it.
I agree that that throws a bit of a wrench in the hypothesis, but not enough of a wrench in order for me to think that you don't work to ignore all the evidence. So
That's
we've
weird, though,
created an
Seamus,
alternative
isn't it?
hypothesis, and that hypothesis is you must be working at like a family restaurant that your family owns or something like that. You obviously have enough power in that restaurant setting due to that. Look, I'm just telling you what the hypothesis is. And let me tell you something else. That job that you're speaking of, I got on January 2nd, okay? So I have been around, and I'm one of the most active people in this server, okay? So You're not
Juan's
going
been
to be able to
around since
dismiss me on the
October,
fact that
and
I
you were
haven't been
you were
around enough or
banned.
heard. Okay, so you're
Javon's been
interrupting me now. Go ahead. I'll defer
All
to
right, go
you.
ahead, finish up. All right, thanks.
No, no,
But
no.
I
I
want to.
Javon's
deferred.
been around since October, and you, I think, were banned from times
Nah.
from that period of time. So October, no, November, December, and then now we're in January. You got the job in January,
Except for
and
the fact that I have
you were
socks on every
around.
server.
You were around. Oh well. All right, bro. Okay, good. Now,
Would you
but
like
you still
me?
making the claim. All right.
I'm just letting you know that before you finish, I have socks on all these servers and have had them in the whole time that I've been banned. So, good luck for that one, huh? Whoops.
But you still got it wrong that I mic up from 8 to 5 periodically, right? So there's no whoops, right? It's just you not fucking knowing what's going on because anyone knows it's morning to fucking night.
I've given
Whoops.
the inferences, I've given the evidence, I've given what I've concluded and hypothesized, and no other competing story has as much explanatory power as the one
Dude,
I
just
put.
think of any job that allows this much
Other
fucking
job has the much explanatory power.
leeway.
Will anyone
Think
disagree
of
with
any
that? Will
job that
anyone other
allows
than
this much
Concrete
leeway.
disagree with that?
real quick.
Well, no, I wouldn't disagree. It's definitely got to be a job that's not customer facing, though. He's not
Yeah.
working with people.
Yeah, it's called working in a kitchen.
Right. I'm saying he could be working in a kitchen.
But what would he be doing in a kitchen where he
right.
could talk that much?
Right. That's the other thing is that when it's loud.
That's
in
how
the
I
got the
explain that.
hypothesis.
Jovan, that's already been asked and answered. I'm going to say this one more time to Jovan. Asked and answered.
Oh, what was it? The family thing?
Yeah, I think that what explains that is he has a certain amount of power there. It's possible that he works in a family setting like that. It's in the back of a kitchen so customers don't hear it, and they let him get away with it because he has some power at that job. He might be a manager.
So it's a
something.
very slow restaurant too then.
Yeah.
Well, if what he does is just deliver it.
No. I think Bluetooth.
No,
Dude, I've worked with Bluetooth.
It cannot
might
be
not deliver.
a very popular restaurant. It can't be even a averagely popular restaurant because
Is
you
that
would not have the
assuming he
time to
wouldn't
do
be
that.
able to talk while also working?
You would
Is
not
that
have the time to
assumption?
do that, and it would be way too loud.
Yeah, I'm denying that assumption because I myself have had a Bluetooth in my head and been able to do my job, which was hands-on job, and I was able to do that the whole time.
What job was it?
Well, I don't want to say out loud, but I'll message you if you're super curious. I'll message you.
Coward
Right?
bitch.
But I'm just telling you, I know that that's not going to be the best explanation because
coward
a lot
bitch.
of these jobs are jobs in which you don't have to think a whole lot. Okay, and so you can
not about
can
the
you
thinking,
breathe?
though.
Well,
It's not
Yeah,
about
I mean-
thinking if you worked in a kitchen, it's in a very small capacity. There was that one time where we swear like we heard like forks and knives falling to the ground or something like that. Like it was pretty loud.
I heard like a jumble
You'd
of
be
dishes coming out of a
constantly,
bus.
look, you'd be constantly hearing people talk to each other, yell
Yeah.
certain things to each other, their code words. You'd be constantly hearing pots and pans rattling, not just once or twice, be constant, right? You'd be hearing water. You'd be hearing
No,
spray,
it's
yeah,
not
you'd be hearing
always
all kinds of
constant. No, I've worked in restaurants before when I was in my youth. It's not constant. The bussers usually come around and they'll put everything on a cart, and then once they have a few of those, they'll come in and push them in. It doesn't happen frequently. It's not
Constant
like-
means.
But not all
constant means
restaurants are
what
like
it
that
means.
either.
Yeah, I'm not
Constant
saying that all
means-
restaurants are like that, but what I am
Yeah.
saying is it's not
Is my mic
constant in the way that you're describing.
The nepotism
I mean,
route, the
My mic
nepotism
working?
route makes sense unless he's like it's possibly works outside of well, no, because we hear kitchen noises too much. I was trying to figure out a way that he has like a
So
job.
come up with a competing hypothesis.
Yeah, I
Well-
don't really, I don't know. Like
Okay, so that means that even despite these type of questions, I agree that they offer questions and they do induce amount of skepticism. Even in spite of that, my hypothesis is still the strongest one on the table.
Right,
And
that's what I'm saying.
I'm offering, hold on, I'm offering as evidence the fact that you can't even come up with a better one.
Well, I think
That's just a lack of creativity,
No,
dumbass.
no,
Well,
I
I
agree
think-
with you that the nepotism was the most like likely that he's got a family restaurant.
Right. Well, I think Concrete's like a UX designer or some like freelance programmer or something. Because I think hear me out. I think that the kitchen noise that we hear in the background is probably Concrete sitting in a cafe, and that's why we hear the dishes being moved around, the people talking, and also the music. I think he does his work inside of a cafe, of some type like a Starbucks or something like that.
Possibility.
Yeah.
There's no way
Yeah,
on
I
earth.
said
There's
that.
There's no way on earth as a
1,000 times.
customer. There's no way on earth as a customer who comes walking in off the street,
he would be allowed to holler the way he does sometimes.
Yeah,
Somebody
Gus
would
is
come
right. I think
around.
the Starbucks hypothesis, Starbucks don't have back rooms. I mean, they have back rooms with their storage rooms, etc. It's not like they're washing dishes, etc. So it doesn't explain the clamor of the dishes.
No,
It
no, no,
damn sure
no.
doesn't explain. It damn sure doesn't explain
Clamor
the
of the
amount of yelling
dishes.
that
We're
he's
gonna need to
permitted
hear
to do.
recordings of these like fucking clamoring of dishes. and
The
shit.
only
That's
clamoring of
fine.
dishes I
That's
hear is
fine. If I thought that people look, I know enough people that have heard those clamoring of dishes that I didn't think it would be necessary. I don't go around and do internet sleuth work to bust up liars on the internet about
Well,
where
no,
they
it's
work.
just there's gonna be two substantially different like sounds coming from a cafe
Nah, I'm a
and an actual
liar.
There was a
kitchen.
time when a
right?
lot of people heard like definitely some like forks and knives falling or something like that. Like it's
Yeah, but that's perfectly
Yeah, that's
consistent with a
consistent with owning
cafe.
right.
a
That's what I'm
house
saying.
with a
It's not a
bath with a
Starbucks.
kitchen.
Well, Starbucks you'd be hearing people yelling out drink names all day. So it doesn't even matter. That's what they do. Your drink name.
But you don't have to
comes
say
up.
we don't have to talk about Starbucks in particular. Just any like
Well, yeah, but I'm saying any.
it
Like,
could be a
he's not
panini,
customer.
right?
Well,
Wait,
yeah,
what?
but he's not a customer. Is the thing because he's like yelling, yelling things he's yelled.
It's
Like
a
in the
Panera
video.
Bread, man.
No.
I don't think
Wherever
he.
he is,
I don't
there's an
think he.
Yeah, you're
understanding
thinking
that this
I'm
is his
always.
behavior and that
Yeah, I don't
it's
think he's
okay.
yelling in the cafe.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Wait,
think I'm
Concrete.
always in the kind
Wait, Concrete.
Go ahead, Yuri. Yeah.
Conquer,
Yuri.
how do you set up a directory? How would you set up a
Yuri.
directory in like some type of IDE?
Look, Yuri. I've already said it 1,000 times. I do a lot of work in Dunkin' Donuts and in Starbucks. We've already gone over that 1,000 times.
No,
So
I'm just trying to make a better case for you being like a freelance programmer or some UX
but
design.
I'm not a freelance programmer.
Oh, okay.
I don't need to make a case for it.
Oh, okay. Never mind that.
Do you ever go on from your home? Or I usually hear you like in the car or with the background noise, but rarely is it not either of those.
Yeah, so you should be hearing my TV in the morning and
I
my TV
have
at
heard
night.
I
But
have heard your TV. You're right. You're right.
Man, this is cool. Concrete's like giving us information.
It's gonna dock some guys. Be careful.
yeah, I know, right?
No, you guys saying that just made him less likely to say anything else.
Yeah,
So,
thank you, Cake.
You're
For
welcome.
Cake, man.
You wouldn't have
Oh,
said anything.
trust me, look, Seamus, I would love to fucking tell you what I do because I'm very proud of it. But and it's only gonna get better because I always make good contacts and I always do good work.
Yeah, you're
But I
at the
just don't
urinal.
want to be doxxed.
Man, next.
I just don't want to be doxxed, bro.
yeah, I highly doubt that he's actually a cook. Honestly, or that he
No,
works
he's
in
not a
kitchen.
cook. He's not a cook, not a customer.
I highly
Those are
doubt that
out.
he works in a kitchen or that he's a manager of a restaurant either.
No, he's not a manager. He'd be talking to employees too much, placing orders, things like that. Managers also have to work some, like they actually
So what job would he have in the restaurant? I don't
I
understand.
don't
Well,
work
like
in a
it's something
restaurant.
I'm
something
talking
that
about
you
in the inferences, concrete.
like like Yuri's idea, but not necessarily that specific.
I'm talking about
Because
in a restaurant. Where would
oh,
he be working? What position would he work that would have all this freedom?
the only thing would be like if yours was combined with Seamus's and it's a small, very slow restaurant that he's working in the kitchen. So like it's like if he works at like a kitchen that only has like
Wouldn't
8
have to be slow.
tables. Yeah.
Oh,
Like
it'd
if
have
he
to be
works
slow.
like
No,
he works at
my
a place that has
hypothesis is he is the
okay,
delivery
thanks.
driver. Yeah,
He's
I
a
mean,
delivery driver. Yeah, yeah.
But he's never
that's,
in the car.
I don't know why you're not selling this. I mean, that's the only one that makes sense. He's
No, I
often
don't
in the
think he's a
car.
delivery driver.
No,
Well,
he's not
I
in the
don't think
car
so either,
often
to be
enough.
saying
He's
honest.
not in the
that's the
car.
more probable if he works at a restaurant. He's
But
the
no,
delivery driver.
Think
I've
how
done.
That was the
think how
question, right?
busy delivery.
If
Think
he
He
how
works at a
wouldn't.
busy
restaurant,
delivery.
First off,
which
yeah,
is
delivery
Why
drivers
does
are
JJ
very busy.
always do that?
Delivery
Wait,
drivers
I'm
are
just
very
like
busy.
curious.
But
Have
he
any
wouldn't.
of these?
He would not be on his phone while he's walking into the store. He wouldn't be on his phone when he's delivering to people, right? So he wouldn't hear the voices in the background. There's multiple things that that just falls apart on.
Right, I've done
while
delivery
he's
too, and
driving,
there's
well, I mean, he's often
Only
driving.
while he's driving is the time that we would hear him.
Uh-huh.
But he's usually driving at night. And I mean, JJ,
Then
have
why
you
do
ever
we
been?
hear the clamoring of the dishes and stuff, JJ? Ah, fuck. Your
When he's
entire
not
hypothesis is just shit, honestly.
when he's not driving,
Wait, I'm curious
Then
though,
what is he
JJ. Have
doing
you
when
ever
he's not
been delay
driving?
driving?
waiting for a delivery, waiting
You
for an
wouldn't be
order
on
to
your
deliver.
phone in the store waiting for
Why?
delivery.
Why?
You'd be doing other shit. But I'm just curious. Have you ever been a delivery driver, JJ? Or
Yeah.
anybody in here?
You'd be
Okay.
washing
yeah,
dishes.
I've done
Like,
I've
Yeah,
done
I've
delivery.
been delivery.
I was a
I've been
I've done
delivery driver
delivery work before.
for some time.
I
I
worked
worked
at
in the kitchen
Domino's.
for like 6 years. I don't think he works in the kitchen. There's just no way. And I worked for like a mom and pop like pizza place. I just really don't think he works in a pizza or like in a restaurant. He wouldn't have this much time on his hands to be on Discord.
Thank you.
Yeah, and plus, man, you also have to like work GPS and stuff. And how can you be on Discord and do
Mary J.
GPS?
just
It's
hasn't had a job in like 50 years, so he's not gonna understand.
They didn't even have
Yikes.
phones back when he was
Well, I mean,
doing stuff, so he doesn't.
there are places. I'm not trying to like take a stab at concrete, right? But there are places where they know that you need work, but like you're not very effective and you cause small harm, so they just like make you go to the back office and just. That happens.
I work. So.
I mean, I was a school. I was a school teacher. They kept people there. I didn't know why they kept them there, but they didn't do anything, and they just felt bad for trying to fire them. You know, they didn't want to fire them.
Anyway, can we get off the meta now? Thanks, Shameless, taking us down Meta Road.
Well, Cochran, can you
We
tell
get a
me
topic
like?
on the table?
Meta Man.
Sorry, what were you gonna say, Yuri?
No, I was just. Can you like tell us like a
Maybe
little
we should
bit?
go to a maybe. No, I can't. Sorry. Maybe we can go to a chill server.
Oh yeah, I was
Since,
thinking that
so much
too.
meta over here.
Yeah, I was thinking that as. Tom on metas.
It became chill all of a sudden when concrete left.
I know we're moving on, but I want to say one more thing in closing. Bro, I don't give a fuck if he is a dishwasher. I'm not knocking on anybody. I admitted to all of you guys I was doing landscaping work last year. Okay? So I'm the least person that would talk shit about something like that. And I wasn't using it to hold it against anybody. Okay? So that's
You
just
make
that
decent
would
money
be.
in landscaping.
Yeah, I wasn't though.
My
Yeah,
buddy
if you
owns a
own
landscaping company.
Yeah, so I was gonna say, yeah, if he's an owner. Sure. I was like, absolutely, as the guy that fucking.
Bro,
works
that
for
work
him,
is like
you know.
$12 an hour work, $12 max.
It's
You're not making
hard
work.
$12 an hour too. If you're in a busy, if you're in a big neighborhood with fucking acre, like over here, half acre lots.
Yeah.
I'm surprised
lot
it's so
of
low.
fucking work.
Up here, it's closer to 15 to 20.
What?
Yeah, I would do it. Yeah, I would do it for 15 or 20.
Yeah, I don't know what the guys make up here. I'm just saying that like, whatever they're being paid, it's still hard fucking.
How do you determine? How do you guys determine your worth as far as like making
Well, people are willing
negotiations?
to pay it, and then you basically do the gibberish on the back end. So like, you would set up some type of metric, right? And so you would evaluate. You would compare other people's prices, right? And then you would base it off of like how big the yard is, right? So let's say I charge. Let's say I charge, let's say $10 every acre, $15 every acre, or square
Mhm.
foot, right? You could do it by square feet as well. You compare that to other people's prices who are in the industry, right? And then you basically just go from there, right? And then if the people are willing to pay you
But,
for
I mean, you
that, then
can't
it's
do
all
that with.
good.
I don't think you can do that. I don't think you can do that with like all fields though, because sometimes it's just some fields are just too chaotic.
Right, yeah, there's some nuances, but you just have to work it out with the person who's hiring you to do it, right? That's what I did. And then the person basically you negotiate the price, right? And they're like, I'm willing to pay you 15 for this work, right? And you're like, you
Right.
think about it and you estimate how much time it will take you to do it before you need to get to your next job, right? And you're like, okay, yeah. Or no, I can't do
It's
it.
true. And this is not a misogynistic comment because I've seen this with Simone. Simone deserves to get paid much more than she gets, and she's just terrible at negotiating. Like I don't know why. She's just too passive.
A lot of people suck at negotiating.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah. I suck at negotiating, but I think I'm better than like most people.
I got my truck was $5,000 on Craigslist, and I got it down to 4.
Oh, that's
Like
good.
the truck you were buying, or
No,
what
my
did you
old
let
truck.
it go for?
The one that got totaled.
Okay. So you wanted it for 5, but got it.
No, he was selling it for 5, and I got it.
Oh, nice. Well, okay.
I offered him 3,500 first.
And then he countered with
He did
4.
45. Well, for like 46, and I told him I can only go to 4, and that's all I'm doing. And I'm getting off the phone.
That worked.
What would you
you
do?
did it over
What
the
would you
phone?
do?
That's good.
Yvonne, what would you do if you did some work and like you didn't get paid? What would you do?
Beat a motherfucker
if-
up.
Like if someone told me they paid me, and then I did the
they
work
didn't
and I
pay
didn't
you.
get paid.
Yeah.
It depends on the person. It depends on the laws in the county. It depends on a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and also how much you lost. If you like, let's say like somebody said, "I'm going to pay you 200 to do this thing," and you don't do it, that's almost not worth it to take it to civil court.
I've gotten my money from people who've told me to pay what they would pay me and then didn't pay me. But
If you have a contract, though, you don't have to worry about it. But if you can go that route. That's easy.
It just seems like if you're gonna go to court, man, it just seems like that's just gonna be like by the time all the
yeah, it all
time
depends on the
after you spent-
situation. If I got a lock solid case in court, I'll just take it to court. If I don't, then I'm just gonna find other means to get my money from them.
Yeah, but some work allows for mechanics liens, and that's a very effective way of getting.
And that's what really pisses people off, like money. I've heard people like get to the point where they're gonna kill somebody for not getting paid.
Well, I mean, most of the time that's because people are doing something they wouldn't otherwise be doing if they weren't being paid, right?
Yeah, I worked as a contractor for a while, so what contractor just brought up, which is mechanic liens, are very relevant.
Yeah, what kind of work you did?
Was a diesel mechanic.
Nice.
Popping wheelies to work.
Yeah, I remember just one time I
I
had
do
a
donuts
small.
in a semi truck.
Oh, that's cool.
Stop lying.
No,
Not
I'm
with a trailer.
I'm not with a trailer. No, just the semi truck.
Of course not. Of course not. Trailer.
I might have a video of it still. Hold on, let me check.
Oh, that's
Nah,
crazy.
old phone.
Somebody's videoed it, so I need to look that up anyway. Donuts in a semi.
I could go viral.
It's not hard. They got shit tons of torque. Shit tons.
What's the most degraded job like the job that degraded you the most?
Moving furniture probably.
Furniture. Yeah, I was a trash man. The guy that like hops in the back of the truck. Yeah, I was in college. It was like $50 a day, and I needed money.
The only reason it's degrading is because you'll be carrying something in the fucking house, right? And then the person will tell you to set it down, and then they won't like
I
where
worked
it
on a
looks.
mushroom
Clearly,
farm.
like a fucking cartoon where they don't like that it looks in that spot, so they tell you to pick it up and move it 2 inches to the right. Oh, I don't like it there. Can you move it back 2 inches? Oh, I don't like it there either. Can you move it forward? These
That
motherfuckers
is
are
not
pieces
very
of
fun
shit.
work, no matter what job you have.
Yeah, Domino's is like that too. Like I don't mind like making pizzas or whatever is fun. I did this as well when I was in college. I just don't like the way that the customers treat you. You know, they treat you like garbage when they come in. Like, oh, you're just a pizza man. So they kind of degrade you. That's pretty bad. So that's probably
Yeah.
similar to what happens with furniture as well.
Since you're a delivery guy, I delivered pizzas when I was 18. Did you get pissed off, motherfucker? You'll get to the door, and then the people walk up to the door, answer, and be like, "Let me go get the money." Like, what the
Oh
fuck?
no,
Oh
when
my
they
god, that show is
when they
so
pay
annoying.
you in like nickels and quarters, yeah. It's
Oh
like
my God.
25.
And then they would
Yeah,
just
it's
like,
pretty.
let's say it was like cold outside or something, or like really hot, and they just like make you like wait outside the door and take like 5 minutes to go and get the money.
I've had people
One
tell
time I
me.
got a speeding ticket real quick. I got a speeding ticket. Nonetheless, it was a woman that was married to a black guy and she hated white guys. And I got pulled over because I was trying to get the pizza on time to the customer and I was barely speeding and sure enough she fucking gave me a ticket. And she knew she shouldn't give me a ticket. You could see the remorse on her face, but she still gave me the ticket. I was like, all right. I see how it is.
That's not joke. Yeah, it's like, no way.
I was in
I was like,
a Volkswagen.
Well, I was just gonna say I highly doubt the video that you had in it was named
Yeah.
Semi-Truck Does Donuts. I was
Yeah.
like, that's not the name of the video, I promise.
I think my brother actually has the video on his phone.
I'm gonna get some beef jerky.
Man, that was fun delivering pizzas though when I was 18. I fucking got fucked.
It's fun
up.
when you're young. It's not fun when you're older.
No,
I had to do that
definitely
right after I got arrested. That wasn't fun.
I delivering pizzas on New Year's and what was it? 4th of July is amazing. Everybody wants to get drunk with you. Everybody wants to get high with you. Everybody, I drank way too much one night. It was bad. I ended up having to just go home. Every house I
No,
went to,
that,
they'd be like, "Take a shot with me." I'd be like, "All right," and you just don't realize how fucking drunk you're getting
What job were you doing?
by delivering pizza.
Oh,
Worst
okay.
job to do that with, obviously, but
it's fun. Yeah, I agree. It's a lot of fun when you're young. That's how I bought my first PlayStation.
I told my boss, I was like, "Man, so I've been drinking a little bit, and I don't think you want me driving anymore." He was like, "Yeah, that's probably a bad idea." He was a cool as fuck boss, though. He's my dude.
Being a girl and delivering pizzas was the best. I made a lot of money.
Oh, I bet, yeah.
To always be
yeah.
so worried about me, like at night, to be like, "Oh my gosh, is there
Every time
someone in
they
the
open
car
the
with you?"
door, Mary Jane was
Yeah.
just like bending over, acting like
Yeah,
she was picking something.
they actually use women for that purpose, like when like salesmen when they come to your door. Like I had a teacher, they used to do, she told me this is what they used to do with her. She was working for some business, and she said that they would use her to get into the door. So, and it worked.
Yeah, Mary probably was just people throwing their wallets at her and shit. Man,
Yeah,
18-year-old
basically,
Mary,
actually.
oh my god. I wonder what 18-year-old Mary looked like.
Anybody seen 1917 yet?
1917, no, I was dead then, or not born yet.
The movie.
I don't even know what movie that is. I've been living under a rock for like the last month. I barely even knew we was fucking going to war. Almost.
Yeah, so like when they say like you're overqualified for a position, what that really amounts to, I think, I could be wrong, but I think what that like amounts to is that you're not gonna fit in well with these people because like they're gonna feel different about you because like you went to college or something like that. And I think that's probably true. Like they're gonna think, oh, this guy thinks he's smarter than us, he whatever, and so they naturally are antagonistic to those people. And that's what I experienced the second time when I worked at Domino's, not the first.
That shit happens in corporate as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it works sometimes against you to say you have a degree. Sometimes
Well, the
it's just
reason
a
why
lie.
people don't want to hire people with old qualifications because they see you as just making a stepping stone, right? This is just a place for you to step for a second for you to get to your next job. So they don't want to hire you because it's going to be just high turnover.
Right, that's true as well.
And a lot of jobs pay to train their employees or have some sort of training thing, right? And they don't want to go through that where they pay you to get trained just for you to go to another job.
Training is expensive.
Yeah.
I worked at a corporate job, and you know, on Fridays the team would go to breakfast together, and I never would. I just never, you know, I would just like keep my head down and do my work.
That's a big mistake.
And then like our upper management, upper boss came and was like, "Yo, you gotta start going to lunch. I mean, going to breakfast with these guys." I'm like, "What?"
So
Shit
I was
crazy.
working. I was doing the same thing, right? I was going and getting my own lunch, right? And then I did that a couple times, and then my boss was like, "Hey, so you should start asking them if they want something too." I'm like, "Motherfucker, I'm just," because when I went, I was gone, I was smoking, I was fucking having a good time. I was just like taking my entire hour out of the place, right, and just chilling. And fuck, I even go to my buddy's house sometime and chill for a little bit because I work by him. But now this motherfucker's telling me, "Hey, man, every time you leave, you should like ask them if they want something so you can bring it back for them." And I ended up starting to do that, but it fucking annoyed the shit out of me.
Shit's crazy. Politics, man. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
I had a dude in my office that is like, he had like a real beef. Like he wanted to do something. And it was like, I don't even remember what it was. It's so long ago.
A whole beef?
But a whole slab of beef.
A lot of beef.
You mean a slab of beefs?
Scarlett, if you become a real person, I'll talk to you, okay?
Oh, I
As long
tried
as you
that.
as long as you stay a meme machine, I'll do my best to ignore you, okay?
I tried that and you didn't like it.
A sideline sniper, I will ignore you.
Well, I tried to,
Okay,
do that,
no
but
problem.
What's your
Okay.
problem with this so-called sniping?
It's fucking annoying.
So?
Duh.
What's annoying about it?
Oh, now we're gonna be non-cognitive.
Oh,
Non-cognitive.
fuck. He's scared to try and answer, isn't he?
Yeah.
Wait, what was uninformative of what he said?
I don't see why someone can't just make like a small comment every now and then and like still be a real person. I mean,
Is
Jesus.
Is every comment sniping?
Of course
Concrete?
not, dumbass.
Then
Did
what?
I say every comment was sniping?
Then what is it?
The sniper
no,
knows.
No, but you.
Sniper knows.
Oh, the sniper knows.
Sniper knows.
Whatever.
Well, he could
I
just
am unaware, so
well, he could just interpret what like certain questions that someone may ask due to background knowledge, right? Right, he may not
well,
like that.
hold on. If the sniper
can
knows
interpret-
and I don't know, then I'm not a sniper.
Yeah, I can interpret it any kind
That's
of way
just
I want.
immaterial.
I'd rather not have to interpret too much and just ask concrete.
Well, again, JJ, we're gonna just go back to you not being a good faith actor.
Oh, fuck.
You're a piece of shit, bad faith actor. So we can't have cordial,
So
fucking
that's just
conversations
you
because you're always trying to fucking stick a
avoiding-
knife somewhere. You piece of shit.
Avoiding
You
the
always-
topic.
So are
Avoiding
you.
the So you're just gonna
question.
overtalk.
Yeah, and what
Okay.
should I? Should I?
All right,
should
let
I,
me deafen
should
while
I-
you overtalk.
Should I let you just insult rather than address the topic? Go ahead.
He Devin.
Uh huh.
It's a win for Jay.
The fear is real, Ben.
He should have just responded with like he should have just gave a reason for why I wasn't, or just argued that him just interpreting as being annoying is just a sufficient reason or something. Shouldn't have done. He spiraled down that staircase.
Well, why didn't he though?
JJ
Yeah, I
likes it
don't
when
know.
it spirals
I-
down
I
the
hasten.
toilet.
I hasten to say it's because he was scared of where it might lead.
There's no fear. You're just you got home court advantage. You got mod powers, and you play dirty. You're a dirty bitch, right? So
That's all true.
If you want me to get into a
Concrete's
fight with a
not
dirty
wrong.
bitch, it's not fun, right? Because you're gonna hit below the belt. You're gonna bite my ear, and
Alex
So
coming in to
name
step in for
calling,
JJ.
somebody,
poisoning the
somebody's
well.
gonna, somebody's
That's what you're
gonna
going to
pull,
resort to?
and then somebody's gonna grab my feet from outside the ring in this bitch.
Avoid
I don't
the
have time for
question and resort to name calling and poisoning the well. Like a fucking coward, concrete. You don't care to be understood. I really don't think you care to be understood. I think you just want to talk and hope people just nod and smile. Show you some acceptance. Oh, darn.
Nah, he's trying to practice talking.
What the fuck?
If he learns how to talk nicely, he can move from the back to the front room of the restaurant.
Did you guys see? Did you guys see that video where they treated that pizza man like garbage? It was like I think he was going to like a used cars. Oh man, it was so good.
No.
They were being dickheads to him, and like it got caught. What?
He killed them?
What do you doubt? Wait, hold on a second. What do you doubt?
I don't know. I'm honestly sorry.
You're trolling?
Yeah, I was just.
I stand by my words. I don't think you're morally responsible, right? But I think you are gonna go to hell. I think you deserve it, right? But anyway, what I was gonna say is that, yeah, I'll post that video if I can find it. They treated him like garbage, and then they were gonna like after they treated him like garbage, they had the gall to try to get him fired. And anyway, it went viral, and people gave like the guy like so much fucking money. Let me see if I can find it.
Let's do a Care Bear stare around Europe so that he can be a successful young man in his next major endeavor. You want to do that, group? Care Bear stare?
No.
What?
Concrete, it's really sad when you're so cowardly in any discussion like this.
Yuri, do you know what a Care Bear stare is?
Yeah, some TV show.
No. It's not. Care Bears is the TV show. The Care Bear stare is a unique power that they have when they all decide to concentrate on one particular problem or situation. The Care
Yeah,
Bear
that's right.
stare.
No,
It's like. Sorry, go ahead,
It's
Ben.
not. Well, you make it sound like the Care Bear stare is some kind of like cumulative power or something. They each have it.
Oh.
They can all use it together.
Yeah,
But
the thing called the Care Bear stare, it's an
I think you just
individual
misunderstood.
ability.
Yes, okay. So it's an individual ability, and I said let's Care Bear stare, which is to say let's all use our individual abilities to help Yuri on his next path as a young man graduating high school, going into college, thinking of a career. Let's make sure this young man gets all of our wisdom through the Care Bear stare. And
You're gonna have
hopefully
so much fun in college,
he'll be
man.
blessed.
Just don't get HIV. You're gonna have a lot of fun.
You don't even have to
You really think he's
partake.
the most- Oh my God.
Yuri, don't partake until your last year. Do that. Do 3 years sober and straightforward. Your last year, have a little fun, and you'll be fine.
Thank you,
Dude,
Concrete.
the
Yo.
fucking orgies. Oh my god. It was
And
great.
make sure you stay in the dorms. And the dorms is fun as hell, yo.
Oh, the freshman orgies? Come on. You gotta do some of that.
Well, I would call them orgies. It's more like people on ecstasy just having sex with like.
Yeah, freshman
strangers.
orgies.
I just looked this up on Wikipedia, and it is a group power. They all stand in a circle together.
Thank you.
They can do it individually. They have it like shooting someone together is like a group power that we possess. The ability to shoot someone at the same.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. You people are fucking... Shut up, Concrete. You people are fucking killing me, okay? Each one of the Care Bears and all the other little care animals, because there wasn't just the bears. There's a little care lion and a little care elephant. What? Yes, that's true. There were others. They weren't just bears. They all had a little power, okay? And it was whatever the little picture was on their little fucking Care Bear shirt, okay? But yes, Concrete's right. They could all come together for a type of fucking group fucking
What was
a group fucking ceremony of some kind, an
Yeah, the
enchantment of
boomers
some
are
kind.
hooking up.
What was the
Concrete and
cupcake one's power?
I don't know what the cupcake one's power was. I didn't fucking follow them that closely.
Oh, okay.
But they could all do a group fucking sorcery together, and it was the Care Bear countdown, where it was fucking 3, 2, 1, and then all the colors of the rainbow would come out of their fucking shirts, and they would smarten up some fucking asshole or something like that. So yes, he's right, and yes, the other guy's right too.
Thank you.
Oh, fuck. Everybody's right. Everyone gets a ribbon.
Right.
Gus,
I just posted.
get on your roll 20.
That's okay. He wasn't talking to me, Concrete.
I stopped Gus mid
He
syllable.
I
And,
just have
not-
some questions, Gus, about this roll 20 stuff.
Is Gus upset about somebody over talking him? That's weird.
Go ahead.
I don't think he's upset. I think that's just his
What the
natural
fuck is that?
voice. Do you look? I posted a Care Bear photo, and I just wonder the magical art that Johnny B. Bad could do with it. Let's hope that he rendition.
See, that's the Care Bear countdown. They all fucking link arms. But you notice each one of them has a different picture on their shirt. It was a lot like the Visionaries. Did you ever hear of those, JJ?
The what?
The Visionaries. Back in the 80s, Visionaries, Knights of the Magical Light. You know, they fucking...
Vaguely recall.
They had lenticular holograms on their shit. You know those? They weren't in the late 80s, they made these green holograms that looked really freakishly fucking accurate.
Yeah.
Okay, well, when those things first came out, they built a whole fucking set of toys around those things as a gimmick.
Right.
And then they called them the Visionaries. And each of the Visionaries had a special power that was only theirs.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't have a power altogether, but the Care Bears did. And I'm telling you, there was a Care Elephant, there was a Care Lion.
Yeah, Lion
There were-
Heart, or I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was Lionheart, and the elephant was fucking Trunkio, or I don't know what the fuck.
Never forget.
Yeah, forget me not or something.
Gus, what do you have? A photographic memory or something, or some
If I had a
boomer
photographic
powers?
memory, don't you think
What
I'd
kind
be
of
able to
boomer
answer?
powers do you have?
It's almost like he asked me a question but didn't want me to fucking answer him.
Sorry, go ahead.
Don't you think if I had a photographic memory, I'd remember all this stuff better than I do?
But you remember the Care Bears?
Some stuff just sticks with me. When my niece
I
was
know
a
Care
baby,
Bears.
when my niece was a baby, she used to fucking make me sit and watch the Care Bears with her. She'd call them Baba, Baba. Say Baba, Baba. All right, well, watch the fucking Care Bears.
I mean,
You
even I
also
remember
knew
the Care Bears. They're old.
But you also knew the nomenclature on the side of the Star Trek
Well,
Enterprise.
that's an easy one, Concrete.
How is that easy?
You know,
Anyone
Star
who
Trek's been
knows-
around for like 50 fucking years. Like, you're bound to pick it up at some point, even if you're
Yeah.
just a casual fan.
That's been the Enterprise's number designation for 60
Ever.
years.
Ever. It's always had
70 years.
it's always had the registry number 1701. It's just that
NCC.
it's just that well, the NCC just stands for Naval Construction Contract.
Right.
So every Federation ship has NCC. If it has its own individual, if it's properly what they call properly christened, then it's got its own, including the runabouts on DS9. By the way, they're considered starships.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because each one has its own registry number. Once you get a registry number, you're considered a starship.
All right. But that's been the same number forever, Concrete.
Yeah, it's always been the same number. The only thing that changed was the suffix, whether it was A, B, C, or D, or E.
Because they kept blowing them up.
They got that from the aircraft industry. In the aircraft industry, whenever you change more than I think 30% of an aircraft's design, you have to give it a different suffix letter. So, for instance, the F-15 or the F-14s that you saw in Top Gun were probably F-14Ds. But the F-18s that a lot of the Navy is flying now, those are known as the Super Hornets. So they're the F-18Es.
Oh. Yeah, Concrete Gus just isn't a dumbass. That's all it takes.
You look at planes like the F-4 Phantom that the United States Navy and Air Force and everybody was flying during the Vietnam era, and the suffix letter goes up as high as I think, at least K. So that means there's a different variant of that craft for each letter in the alphabet's been tried out. Same thing with the Huey Cobra, not the big fat one you see in all the Vietnam movies, but the really slim one. The really slim one that was the first attack helicopter that the U.S. ever made. That one is the U.S. Marines still use them, and they're up to some ridiculous suffix at this point, like A8. They're the AH-1 J or K or something.
All right, JJ. Thank you for that, Gus. JJ, what I want to do right now is I want to establish whether or not you yourself are a dumbass or not. So I'm going to ask you a very simple question, and if you don't answer the question, then obviously you're a dumbass, right?
I don't know this already, Concrete.
Wait, what? Oh, I just want to demonstrate it. Right. See if my fifis are actually correct. Now, what is the monetary policy?
I don't know.
Okay. What is the fiscal policy?
With regard to what? I don't know what you're talking about.
The term fiscal policy. What is it?
With regards to what?
With regards to the concept fiscal policy. What does that entail?
No idea.
Okay. Net present value. What do you think that means?
Yes, from to define words.
Excuse me?
Net present value?
Yes.
Sounds like the net value. What are you talking about?
What do you think is associated with? Can you tell me the process by which you attain a net present value?
I assume you count your assets.
No.
No?
Internal, no. Internal rate of return.
Well, how was I wrong about the other thing?
It's not about counting your assets.
It's
Internal
about
rate of
time.
return.
JJ.
Excuse
about
me.
the
No.
present.
Be quiet.
Go
Wait,
ahead, go ahead.
sorry. I mean, I don't want y'all to. Sorry, I apologize. But internal
What?
rate of return. Internal rate of return. IRR.
What about it?
What does it mean?
Internal rate of return? What do you mean?
All
What
right.
does it mean?
Define.
What do you
give me the
mean? What does it
definition
mean,
for-
Concrete?
give me the
Pretty simple.
definition for internal rate of return.
Internal rate of return.
All right, great. So what we demonstrated with these monetary policy, fiscal policy, net present value, internal rate of return is that you haven't been able to answer them, and thus you are a dumbass.
Oh no,
Right?
I think I did answer them.
Right?
I think you just didn't like my answers.
JJ, you didn't
Accurately.
answer any of them.
I'm
So
pretty sure I
therefore you are a
answered.
dumbass, right?
Pretty sure I answered every one of them.
Wow.
Anyway, you take it
What
from
was
here,
wrong?
Ben,
What was
where-
You're the biggest
Any-
gaslighter I've ever met in my
What
life,
was
JJ.
what was wrong
Anyway.
with my answers, Concrete?
They weren't correct.
What was wrong with them?
They were definitionally
just told you.
incorrect.
Yeah, what was incorrect about them?
You have no concept of what they actually are, and you just spouted words as
Well,
answers, and none of them comported. None of them comported with their definition. None of the words
I'm not sure about
that you
that.
spouted comported with the
that's
definitions of the terms that I asked you about.
Like say what? Start with the first
All of
one.
them.
Concrete, don't engage
Monetary
with
policy.
He's
fiscal
literally
policy.
don't Concrete,
Yeah, I know.
don't engage with this.
I know. Anyway, Ben, what
He's
would
just
you like
asking
to-
what over and over again.
Yeah, he's ridiculous. Ben, what would you like to add to the story? Because you understood what net present value. It looks like Jovan, you do as well. I guess you could elaborate for JJ since
Oh yeah,
you guys are
yeah,
familiar with the concept.
whoever can.
What are you guys talking about this
What
for?
was I wrong about?
What are you guys talking
Go
about
ahead,
this
Ben.
for?
Just help him out.
Well, apparently, Concrete thinks that if I can't answer these to his satisfaction, I'm a dumbass. But now I'm
That's
curious. What was I
crazy.
wrong about?
All of them, literally.
I only heard you try and answer
What
one.
was I wrong about?
You only
you
attempted
only-
to
This is
answer
stupid.
one, and you were wrong about that one.
Then let's go with that one. What was
But
wrong?
that's the only one that can be wrong. So what?
Explain it to him,
What's
man.
wrong about?
All right, so his answer was net present value is when you count your assets, correct?
That's not
JJ?
net present value.
Well, that's
Right, JJ? That's what you thought when you count your assets?
I said I assume you would have to count your present assets to know the net present value.
Yeah, that's not it, bro. Anyway, Ben, go ahead and
So what is it then?
illuminate. Ben, go ahead and illuminate the concept for him.
What? I just walked into class and now I'm teaching it. What's going on?
I mean, he wants to know the answer. Do you know the answer or not? It seems like you did.
He can Google the answer if he wants.
I'm not.
Oh, okay. So he doesn't want to teach you, JJ.
It's going to be referencing the investment, but there's a whole formula to calculate it.
But you got Contra, you really find this enjoyable though? I can't find this shit enjoyable. I mean, you can keep talking about it. I'm just asking you a question.
What's what did I get wrong though? What is net present value?
Net present value deals with project analysis. So if you're analyzing the profitability,
Project?
Yes.
Project
are you gonna
analysis?
keep talking?
Yes,
What
it
does
is.
keep talking?
project mean here?
So
He's
then-
trying to
look
make
at-
you slip up, Concrete. That's his whole MO.
I know. I don't. Look, bro. It's real simple.
I just
So
want
when
to know
you
what-
analyze,
I heard you correctly.
fuck it. I'm not helping you. Fuck you.
Oh, fuck.
Aww.
Wait, why did you
JJ,
say
just
project?
Google it.
Why would you
Just
try?
Google and you'll
Why
see
would
the
you?
result.
Why would you try to teach JJ? Like that's a mistake right there in the beginning.
Hey, JJ, just Google and you'll see that you're wrong. We don't need to explain it to you.
Well, if I have to.
No, you do, because you refuse to let anybody tell you.
Concrete can't explain anything.
No, he was explaining it directly.
He may have tried to start. I mean, he may have started. But then
Look, I put it in general chat for you.
he quit at the first opportunity he saw.
Yeah, because you're just like annoying as fuck, bro.
Hmm.
You're not even fun to talk to when you get in that mode.
Not at all. It's just
And-
what over and over again. Huh?
Good
What?
in-
What is
good
that?
in
What did you
what?
say? Wait, do you remember the thing that you just said? Wait, keep trying to say the thing you just said so you stop saying so you mess up. That's all he's trying
Yeah,
to do, just
I
teach you to
know.
mess
Yeah.
up.
Jovan, you're
That's why
you're
he's a
so
bad faith
arrogant.
actor. That's why you're a bad faith
All
actor.
I asked was if I heard you correctly.
Right.
So you have hearing problems now,
And
bro?
it's actually an interesting thing that you led
Occasionally, yes.
with
And when you were told
projects.
3
Like,
times that you heard him correctly and you kept asking.
well, what does project mean? Why
I
did you
don't
lead
think
with that anyways? That's interesting.
Yeah, so whenever you want to determine to go forward or not with a given project, you would look at its cash flow over a period of time and then see if its net present value of the cash flows are greater than 0. Right.
So you could
So if
apply
it's
this to something other than a project, couldn't you?
I mean, is anything with a cash flow? So you,
Why did you lead? Then why did you lead with project?
because that's
Is
the
what
method
I'm
of
pointing out is
that's
weird.
that's a go or no go method of analyzing projects with cash flow.
Go or no go?
Well, no, the method that you're talking about might use net present value, but that's not what it is.
Yeah, so it's an
So I'm
analytical tool.
telling you that's a silly
Wait
way
a
to
second, hold
write up.
on, bro.
Don't
So
talk
you want
about
to
its use.
criticize?
Talk about what
Look,
it
look,
is.
all you're doing is coming in my classroom and criticizing the way I want to present my
You asked me
material,
to teach,
right?
motherfucker.
No, I asked you and you decided not to. Now you're just
Yeah.
criticizing the way that I fucking taught or trying to teach
That's
this
correct.
concept.
That's correct.
Okay, but your criticism is fucking shallow at best, right?
Well, it's
Because
I
all you're talking
critiqued.
about,
Hold on,
what you're talking about is why did I choose to lead off with a project?
I critiqued the entirety of your explanation, right?
So
100%
the
of it.
reason,
I critiqued.
so the
The one word
reason,
that you led with, I
so the
critiqued.
reason. One second, bro. So the reason. So what your critique is
Hold on,
that I
hold on.
chose to lead. Explain the definition through utilization of the concept of a project that has a cash flow, and it is definitely used to determine whether or not you would invest in that project or not. Oh my gosh, or investment if you want to call it another thing. Anything with annuity, anything with a cash flow.
Sorry, were you asking me a question? Can someone stop crinkling?
Dio, you're
I was just beating back your criticisms.
Wait, how did you do it? What did you say?
Now you're pulling for JJ because maybe he'll like you more if you pull this shit.
Man, shit was crinkling. What the fuck were you just saying?
Anyway, I posted the wiki and fucking
Yeah, what's
main chat.
yeah. So
Yeah,
it's
they
kind of
don't lead
what I
with
was saying.
project. Well, you said you count up your assets or something, right?
Well, it's certainly that's going to be involved. I mean, I don't know what the question was. What is net present value?
Right. He didn't really say.
It's the net present value, however you apply it.
Well,
You
it was
don't
like
even
a
know what that
jargon.
is, JJ. You just keep repeating it, but you don't know. Jesus.
I don't know what is.
Net present
Net-
value. You just keep saying the
net-
words that you don't. You
Net
don't. Oh my god.
present and value, the total value at present. I mean, that's what it. And the present is defined by some length of time.
Right.
I don't know what do you think I'm not getting? How you can apply it? I've never had to apply it.
I mean,
Yeah,
it'd be
so-
one
Pretty
thing if they'd
self-explanatory.
like.
So,
So
wait,
look,
let's just
Ben.
make sure. So
But-
Ben had a problem with the way Concrete was saying it. So Ben, do you have a problem with the way JJ's explaining it right now?
What's so awesome? Wait, 1 second, Jovan. Sorry. What's so awesome is I just pulled out some language from the wiki, and it says used in decision making. NPV is an indicator of how much value an investment or project adds to a firm. With a
Oh.
particular project.
I'm totally in your corner.
With a
Yeah,
particular project is a positive value, project status of a positive cash flow in the time of anyway. Basically, fucking it. Anyway, it's there for you to read.
Mm.
Okay, so saying
There it is.
It's saying on the risk there that it's saying on the risk that basically in order to invest in this project, you're taking on a certain level of risk. You should get paid a percentage
But the
each year
particular
according to this
project
risk.
Oh shit.
And so,
is a
yes,
positive value
yes. And so
level.
at the end of the year, so at the end of the year, you are supposed to be able to have a rate of return plus the original cost recouped for you, because for you, the time value of that money and the risk you were taking needs to be compensated in order to do the project. So it just is saying basically that you didn't earn the necessary rate of return plus the investment back at the end of the investment period.
Oh, get wrecked.
Yeah.
Nice
So
one.
another useful or necessary number within the NPV is your discount rate, and that's what she's talking about with regards to what you want to recoup. What does your investment profile look like in terms of the money you need to make on your money, and that would be your discount rate. So net present value is used to analyze projects, and can you tell them about IRR, Rise, in relation to NPV?
The internal rate of return is the return that you're getting, so that percentage that you're getting on top of making the investment yearly or over whatever time period you're dividing by. So it's like that. Like let's say you have a project that's supposed to be bringing back a 12% return each year. That rate of return would be the 12%. That would be the IRR. So
Did you
the
get it, JJ?
IRR is based on calculating it based on net
JJ's
present
gonna act like he knew
value.
all this.
I think another way of putting the IRR. So when you look at NPV, you're looking at the cash flow of this project with regards to your discount rate, which is the rate of return that you would like to achieve for any investment or project that you get in. The IRR is separate in terms of it's what the project will throw off as far as a return, separate from your discount rate. So your discount rate might be 10%, and the IRR that the project gives you back could be 13 or 14 or 15%. You want to know both of those things. First, should I invest in this project, and then what type of return would I get from this project? The NPV is go or no go. IRR is how much you're going to get back over and above your discount rate. Does anybody else care? No?
JJ, it's okay just to say like I don't know. Or
Yeah, the
Yeah.
IRR, like
Well, I
the
think I've
IRR
demonstrated
is
that I'm very comfortable with saying I don't know.
No, you didn't. You didn't say I don't know a single time.
Anyone?
Can we all agree that he only answered
Yeah.
one of the definition questions?
He didn't
Is
say
it
he
not
didn't
enough
know
of
the
it?
other ones.
What did he say?
Oh, what did I say?
Then are
then?
you saying that he didn't? You saying that he said that I did not know that?
What could he possibly say other
He
than
did
I don't
not
know
say
if he
I,
didn't
he didn't
answer?
answer it.
What did he say then?
He did not say I don't know.
What did he say?
I don't
said
need to
something.
know what he said to know
But
that he didn't.
Jovan, you agree that I said something like that, right? I didn't
No,
say that.
you didn't say anything like I don't know.
Did he just say like next question? I don't think so. I
Well,
don't
do you
remember that.
recall? Do you recall when I said I have no?
Look, I'll
clue?
go back and look at the live stream.
Do
just so
you
Let's
recall when I
rotate.
said I have no clue?
You didn't say that.
All right, let's roll the tape.
Anyone?
I could have not been listening at that particular time. Maybe I'm wrong, but I did not hear you say
Yeah,
that.
you're often wrong. I see.
Oh, we'll see.
Jovan is
We'll
just-
see. JJ, I
is
just said we're playing a
back-
chick. There's no point in
is
talking
just
about it. 'Cause
back-
You're just gonna keep talking
is
shit until you
just-
see.
Jovan is just back to trying to attack me, and I mean,
That's not just trying to attack
I
you.
don't give a shit as much as Tom.
What are you
But
talking
I
about?
mean, this is just your same old shit of trying to instigate stuff.
I'm not instigating anything.
what was John Grant's
really
proposal?
I'm giving you my
Jovan,
honest opinion on what
Jovan
happened.
lately has just been bending over backwards to give sugar and concrete a fair shake, and I think honestly someone should. So I mean, I don't really begrudge him for it.
We love
Is that-
concrete.
Never mind.
Yeah, I don't think this has anything.
Seth is looking for a fight. Seth is looking for a
Con-
fight.
What do you mean I'm looking for a fight?
Seth wasn't fighting anybody.
No, this
Concrete's
is
great when he's not being aggro.
conveniently not listening.
Dude, JJ's the one instigating, calling other people's instigators. It's insane.
Yeah, that's insane, Jovan.
It's okay, JJ. I'm playing the game right now. I'll go look back in a little bit.
Yeah, you want so much for me to have not said I don't know, that you've conveniently not heard it or forgotten it.
But I'm the instigator, people.
I was the one that pointed it out, not Giovanni.
Rise. When do you sleep?
Right.
Like 12 hours ago, I went home and I stopped listening to Discord. Now I pick up my headphones and here you are.
She just barely
She
got
just
back,
walked
to
in the
be
door.
fair. Yeah. She
Yeah.
only just got here a little bit ago.
So Dio, you said it's okay, and I said I think I demonstrated that I'm quite comfortable saying I don't know. That's when Jovan
No,
said
I didn't hear. I didn't hear you say. I didn't hear you say. I didn't have a clue, but you may have said it. I don't know. I didn't hear you.
What's interesting about
don't
that,
even know if
Seth,
you were there.
is if the only times that you've heard her speak are been times that you're awake and I'm assuming that you're not going off anything other than your own experience, then, I mean, couldn't she just ask the same question of you because you've been around the exact same amount of time she's been around awake?
Yeah, she could. I wasn't accusing her of anything. I was just asking if she slept, if she went away. I'm not saying she's been here the whole time. It just looks that way because I piped up right now. I mean, if, like I said, if somebody said or she said, oh yeah, I just came in right now, okay, that's good enough for me. That's why I didn't push the issue.
JJ, I listed the basic outline of the difference between fiscal policy and monetary policy.
Yeah, I see
in
what you
general chat.
Uh-huh. I see that. What about it?
Now, who is in charge of our monetary policy?
Big yikes.
It says right there.
That is debatable.
Just take a wild guess.
I assume you want to point to the Federal Reserve.
Of course. Definitionally, they are in charge of our monetary policy. Now, what do you think what's the debate? If not the Fed, then who?
What's the debate?
The
You
billionaire
said it's
class.
debatable.
Oh.
What did the guy with the podcast voice say?
People debate over whether the Fed is.
That's you, Alex, the guy with the podcast voice.
Is
Oh, it
private
was
or public?
I was trolling.
Oh, good job, bro.
I said the billionaire class, though, if it was worth the troll.
What are we calling monetary policy exactly? I mean, the Fed has obviously some policies it can set, but like there are other policies that are set by the federal government that might be considered monetary policy.
Monetary policy is changing interest rates and money supply.
Okay, that's the Fed, yeah.
Fiscal policy is changing government spending and tax rates.
Yeah, which I mean, I don't know. Like, this is not my bag. That's why I'm asking. What is technically monetary policy?
I mean, some of that is instigated. It may be, implemented through the Federal Reserve, but it at least has its origins in the executive branch.
Another argument can be made that
The
the Fed responds to these forces in the economy, and it's decided as much by how the economy is reacting as much as the Fed. But, I mean, that's going to be a kind of a long road to hoe and a semantic argument.
And even though these may start in the executive branch, the Treasury Department, a lot of those people are the same anyway. So
Doesn't sound like there's much controversy here.
this was just a test. Concrete was testing if I knew what these things were.
But why?
I think he took real issue with me saying that Gus was not a dumbass, which is why he knew what the Enterprise's whatever number is, and other things,
Enterprise value.
and about the Care Bears.
Ooh, my father-in-law is gonna make an Enterprise D escape pod bed for my son.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. My wife, the little fucking nerd that she is, he showed her a picture. She says, how would you like me to make this for a bed? And she said, actually, it's the Enterprise D, not the Enterprise A, because the numbers on the side said Enterprise A.
What a dork.
Yeah.
Is Concrete still here?
Hmm.
What up, Bet? How you doing?
I
Yeah, I
wanted
wanted
you
to
to
just
tell
kind of
him.
remember earlier when I was like getting all loud and calling that guy like a beta cuck and all this shit. I get a call from a guy at my marina, and he said that there was a person, because I was cooking pork chops, so I had my hatch open. There was a person standing behind my boat on their cell phone. Like, I guess like I'm probably gonna. I don't know. I guess they're gonna narc me out to the dockmaster or something. I don't know.
That's epic.
Wait, what?
For what?
You were
For
yelling
cooking
at
pork
somebody?
chops?
He's
No,
yelling beta cuck
it
and
was
shit.
in here, so I never said like the F word or whatever. I just said like beta cuck, and
It's true.
I mean, I wasn't really yelling, and it doesn't really carry out of my boat that well, but I don't know. It's probably one of there's like $1 million condominiums that are like surround the basin of the marina,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, they don't like little scallywags like me messing up their view, and so. But I mean, they can't really do anything about it.
You did call him a homosexual,
Yeah, that's true.
but that in and of itself shouldn't be an issue. It's probably just a basic noise complaint.
Yeah, possibly.
It's probably disconcerting for reasons other than you saying a particular slur.
I'd love to see Shamos get in trouble for this, not because I want to see Shamos in trouble, but because I want to hear the story and how he like term a new asshole used his debate skills to fucking get out of it. Like, oh, is homosexual a slur? Do you hate homo?
I was listening to Howard Stern. Maybe it was a bit too loud. I didn't say any of that stuff. Those ideas don't represent me or what I stand for or believe in. I'm all for supporting the LGBTQ plus G76 community and all that.
All right, JJ, I got a man quiz for
We
you.
got the
What
A+.
What is the indirect heating method of barbecuing?
No, fuck.
What is the indirect heating method of
barbecuing? How do you
Oh, I know
construct
this.
such a system?
Is it the
What do you mean
smoke?
indirect?
Yeah, what's that about?
I guess that's it, right?
An easy one. I'm
Yeah,
surprised
this
you-
is so easy.
So if the fire's not, nah.
Is that what you're saying?
Wow. How many more times? All right, I'll give you 3 more
That's
chances.
a really weird way of
Smoking,
putting
no.
Smoking, but yeah.
Smoking, no. It doesn't have anything to do with smoking.
Kind of, but not really.
No, it has nothing to do with smoking.
No, I know.
2 more tries. JJ, 2
Well,
more tries.
Is smoking an indirect way of barbecuing?
I can
Yes.
tell what
No, we're
indirect
talking
is.
about the indirect heating method of barbecuing.
Right.
Smoking is a separate from barbecuing. 2 distinct cooking processes.
What's the difference?
That's not true.
Irrelevant.
Actually, where I come from in Carolina,
Tell
there's
me
actually
about-
like 3
tell
different
me-
styles of
Seamus,
barbecue.
please don't distract. Seamus, don't
Oh, my
distract.
bad,
Let him
dude.
answer just let him answer the question.
I heard
and
you
we
say
can
something
get you.
false.
Yeah, I know. We can get to that later. Just go.
I'm from North
JJ,
Carolina, which is one of the states that's most famous for barbecue, and I can assure you that they do barbecue by smoking here, and that's the preferred method.
Bro, are you done?
Well,
He's asking for the methodology, not the actual like
we can
means
get
of
back to
Go
that.
ahead, JJ.
heating.
We can get back to that later. Go ahead. You go ahead, Concrete.
All right, so the room already knows what it is, and so anybody else want to answer for him?
Yeah, it's
it's when you put the briquettes on one side of the grill and the meat on the other.
away
that would
from
be the indirect heating method.
You could also
I don't know
you
why
could
you
also
think this is-
pile the briquettes in the middle and put the meat around the edge.
There's a I don't yeah, these are the weirdest questions. There's a lot of different ways you can heat indirectly, but is there a better question, Concrete?
Well, great. So why don't you tell me what concrete is made out of? Give us the ingredients to
Wait,
make
what?
concrete.
What was the answer to your question? What's the indirect heating method?
Alex, podcast voice gave us the answer.
Hi.
What?
Go ahead,
What?
JJ. Tell us what cement is made. Concrete is made out of. Go ahead. How do you make concrete? Go ahead.
How do you?
Give us
Well,
the
you see,
ingredients.
when a mommy and a daddy love
It's
each other very much.
it's cement, cement and water.
Almost. You're missing an ingredient.
You're missing some ingredient.
Don't forget the magic
What,
touch.
lime?
Yeah, what's cement made out of?
Oh fuck.
Yeah,
Oh,
so cement
shit.
would be a different.
So cement can be made out of different things, but
Go ahead.
you want me to
I'll ask
enumerate what
Concrete
they
a
are?
question.
Well, no. First, let's give them the answer for concrete.
By sauces
Seth,
and region.
Seth, give them. Seth,
What
give
is
them
the
the answer.
barbecue sauce that North Carolina is famous for?
Mustard. Anyway,
No, that's false.
all right, great, no problem.
Mustard barbecue
So,
sauce?
What
Seth,
the
give
fuck
them
is
the.
happening?
Carolina Reaper?
Yeah, gravel and or sand.
Oh, sure,
it's used
sand.
to kind of base
But-
the sauce is.
but
South Carolina
concrete-
is the mustard sauce. It's not North
Does
Carolina.
concrete really require like an
Yeah, it's not
aggregate
concrete
ingredient?
if it doesn't have something.
Yep, barbecue
aggregate.
sauces
Then
in
it's
North
just cement.
Carolina are all vinegar based.
Wow, Seamus, what the fuck, bro? Are you serious?
Yeah, homie.
So, what's the difference between mortar and concrete?
Tar versus rock.
I actually don't know that.
If you're asking me, I don't know.
JJ?
Well, I mean, it depends on what you mean. Mortar can be
Fuck you, JJ.
mortar. First of all, concrete doesn't have to have sand. It can have any kind of aggregate, I guess. I forgot that that's actually a big part of being concrete rather than just
It has fine grain
It's
aggregate.
it depends on the water to
Where's
cement
mortar?
ratio. Jesus.
Not really.
Coarse grain aggregate, fine grain aggregate.
Mortar has an
not
extra.
really?
Mortar.
Right. I think Ace
Mortar
gave the
has an
best
extra
answer.
ingredient.
So it'll be cement, fine grain aggregate, and large coarse aggregate,
Right.
and water.
Well, yeah, and cement itself has like lime in it to fix it.
You've got.
You also need.
Go ahead, Lars.
I was just gonna say you need to have like drying conditions where you could have a certain amount of heat that allows for the process to bind.
You talking about for concrete?
Yeah, or anything like any sort of chemical
No, it's
reaction,
gonna.
you need a certain
It's
amount
gonna.
of.
No, it's gonna harden from chemical reaction.
Yeah,
which is why
concrete
they
doesn't
can use
dry.
concrete. Which is why they can use concrete
So-
underwater.
So it would dry at any temperature.
Yeah, that's why they can use it underwater for bridges.
But doesn't it dry faster at a higher
As a matter of
temperature?
fact, the concrete reaction is like is exothermic, right? It gets a little warmer.
Correct.
as it-
Heats up. Yeah.
There's no so you're telling me that. Well, no, of course that's gonna affect it. I'm saying it'll go at a faster rate if you add heat.
You mean if
My
the water
point.
evaporates? Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
the hot
you
water
can
will
no.
evaporate.
You can
It
add.
speeds
I
up the
mean,
process of separation of.
Yes, you can add
Yeah.
heat.
temperature matters, but
Black Lives
it'll
Matter.
harden itself with irrespective of the temperature, just the time frame.
Yeah, so it'll take a lot longer if there's not enough heat. Yeah.
JJ, what is scaffolding? Go ahead. What is scaffolding?
Why is this a question? So, didn't this come up?
How large is the
Yesterday?
average 2x4?
JJ, these are man
It's not
questions.
2 inches by 4 inches.
Man
Just
questions.
tell me what scaffolding is.
3.5 by 1.75.
Well, I've used scaffolding.
What is it?
How the fuck do you think he peeps through his neighbor's windows?
Yeah, I mean it's
Alex is helping you as much as he can.
I don't know how to describe it.
I'm trying my best here. JJ's
I know
like,
you are.
The scaffolding is just how you support a building.
Scaffolding is a structure.
Well-
Scaffolding is a Scaffolding is a structure made primarily of metal pipes and pieces of wood that is built up outside of a structure that you wish to build and or renovate.
People don't know
Well, it
what
could be
scaffolding
inside the
is?
structure also, though.
Yeah, it can be inside.
Yes, but generally
No,
speaking,
but it's basic.
it's on the
it's a-
outside.
it serves to support. I'm pretty sure because it's used metaphorically in education.
Well, it's part of it. You generally don't put a lot of weight on scaffolding. That's not a very good idea. But
Scaffolding is not
what the
support.
primary use of scaffolding is so that workers can get up places that they normally couldn't and work on those places safely.
Yes.
Yeah. Seth, didn't you have a gif of some kid putting up scaffolding on a skyscraper?
don't know. I don't.
That
I
shit
don't
was
remember.
crazy. It was crazy. Let me look for it.
Yeah, I mean, scaffolding is
so crazy.
It's called a foundational framework.
Wow.
Man.
I don't know where the word comes from though.
Isn't the inside structure of the Statue of Liberty called scaffolding?
Could be.
Sure.
Yeah, scaffolding's a. Let's do a quick.
You guys are
Google.
unbelievable. I just looked it up, and the fucking definition is to support. Man, I'm always right.
Yeah, that's what I agree with
you. Were
you.
right. I told you you're right.
I thought
I
you were saying to
appreciate it.
support buildings.
No, I just say I say it's a support because they use it metaphorically.
You're
in
lagging. I can't hear
education.
you.
In the lag.
Oh, I said I hear that word a lot in education, so I said like we use it metaphorically to.
Just posted a video of some young man putting up scaffolding outside of a skyscraper. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy.
Pretty crazy.
So crazy.
Have I not passed the man test yet, Concrete?
Yeah, you haven't done what this motherfucker's doing. He's balancing on free fucking poles that aren't tied down to anything. What a fucking idiot. Holy shit, my balls are in my stomach. I can't watch this video.
Oh, somebody call OSHA.
Yeah,
Oh,
OSHA
that's a good one,
hates
JJ. What does OSHA stand for?
What is it? OSHA Dubai?
I'm OSHA certified. I'm OSHA
You guys are
certified.
some pussies. You know, I went up on top of a building where to climb up to the top, you had a ladder, right? You had a ladder that vents in the middle because it was so fucking high. You guys are some fucking pussies.
I don't know.
Jovan, did you watch this video?
I crawled in and out of fuel tanks for a living.
Hell.
OSHA hates me.
Up here in Canada, it's WSIB. The Workman Safety Insurance Bureau.
JJ, another man question. We're gonna keep it in the same realm. That'll give you a hint. What does CMU stand for?
Oh fuck.
CMU.
Not CUM.
CMU.
CMU. And we're staying within the same realm, right? So that should give you a hint.
Yeah, I hope that's a clue.
Very much in the same realm, yes.
Jesus.
Concrete or finance.
Concrete and masonry union.
What? What was that last one?
Union.
No. All right, you almost got it. Concrete masonry unit.
Congratulations, you're half a man.
Unit.
Hi, JJ. Since we're asking JJ man
Now you've
questions
got the
for some
option
reason,
to change behind door number
Let's-
2.
I'll tell you though, I've never heard of the CMU before.
what's the difference
seen
between
them.
what's the
They
difference
mustn't
between a roots
exist.
type and a centrifugal type supercharger?
A what?
Roots type or a centrifugal type supercharger?
This is a Tesla
Pause.
question.
I didn't even heard what was the first word? What type?
Roots type, ROOTS, roots type, or centrifugal type supercharger?
No idea.
Transmission?
Anybody? No, supercharger.
Hey Tom, you there?
Supercharger.
Which has to do with airflow, right? It's just about
Yeah,
regulating
superchargers
airflow.
are forced, or what are called forced induction modifiers.
Right, which is just forcing air into the.
Yeah, more air means more fuel, which means
Right.
more combustion.
What about
overall.
screw? What about screw type?
I don't. What's the first type though? I've never.
A roots type is basically a screw type. Roots
Wasn't
type
that a book written by
superchargers
Lewis
are
Carroll?
have interlocking veins
Okay.
that force air
Got it.
into the intake. They're usually mounted directly on the intake. Centrifugal type are vane types, which are like turbos. They're like belt-driven turbos.
Who is the author who wrote the famous book Call of the Wild?
Jack London.
London.
Nice, Gus with the win.
Hey,
How do I not get anything for that?
That was a photo
That's
finish.
a
That was a
clicker,
photo
that's a clicker.
finish.
That was a
Yeah,
hey guys,
definitely got that one.
I just dropped a new hip hop track. You guys want to?
Oh boy.
Why not?
Yeah, play
Let's
it on
do
the
it.
bus.
Oh dear.
When you say hip hop, you mean country, right?
Yeah, that's right. His favorite hip hop artist was White Yoakum.
This is a Gary Newman.
Just might like it. Hold that magic, I just might strike it. Burn that motherfucker down to the core. Beat that motherfucker down to the floor. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the price when you fuck with me. Fuck you, bitch. Everyone like you. Hit the road, I'm sure I'll make you. Burn that motherfucker down to the core. Beat that motherfucker down to the floor. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the price when you fuck with me. This is the price when you fuck with me. This is the price when you fuck with me. This is the price when you fuck with me. This is the price when you fuck with me. Always gonna know when you walk away salty. Never should have tried that shit was faulty. Bring your fucking mouth and the shit was costly. Back away and do it softly. Always gonna know when you walk away salty. Never should have tried that shit was faulty. Bring your fucking mouth and the shit was costly. Back away and do it softly. Claim you bitch and I might just like it. Tell me more and I might just take it. Burn that motherfucker down to the core. Beat that motherfucker down to the floor. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the price when you fuck with me. We're both fucked up and everyone knows it. Fuck my life and everyone sees it. Burn that motherfucker down to the core. Beat that motherfucker down to the floor. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the price when you fuck with me. This is the price when you fuck with me. This is the price when you fuck with me. This is the price when you fuck with me. This is the price when you fuck with me. Always gonna know when you walk away salty. Never should have tried that shit was faulty. Bring your fucking mouth and the shit was costly. Back away and do it softly. Always gonna know when you walk away salty. Never should have tried that shit was faulty. Bring your fucking mouth and the shit was costly. Back away and do it softly.
Pretty good, dude. That reminded me a little bit of like Beastie Boys, kind of. Like not
Yes,
completely.
Queen.
Yeah, why are you so salty, Declan?
You should make music for video games. It's actually really good for like Mortal Kombat or something.
There's some odd physics that are going on in that gift. Like somehow him jumping up in the air and pushing him down with his foot is bringing him up into the air before he pushes him down. It's like a magnet in his foot that attracts him up in the air and then he pushes him back down. It's so weird.
Well,
Yeah, Joe, that's a good idea.
Oh shit! Those dudes are the best actors of all time. They should get Oscar,
SmackDown or Raw?
Emmys.
Concrete.
I just want to let you guys know I'm swearing off all women on the internet except for Rise.
Why?
Rise is the best. Rise is.
I'm not.
I've been trying to
against all
convince
women.
Rise and her becoming a Discord power couple like Josh and Gigi, but she's not very convinced. So, but I'm still working on it.
I've sworn off all women on the internet. Even Rise.
No, they've sworn off you. There's a difference.
No, that's not true.
Would love nothing more than to work all week and come home and just place my check in Rise's hands.
From my relative perspective, I don't think I could do that.
Yeah, she seems to have a good grasp on economics. So,
Well, I
After
wouldn't
my-
worry her. I
I'll let
wouldn't
her
worry
manage
about her
all the
spending it
money
all
and
on
stuff.
food.
No, I'll let her
After-
manage all the money. I think we'll be fine.
Big yikes,
After
guys.
that-
Big yikes.
After that bad experience with Layla, yeah, I'm not doing that again.
All right, JJ, I got another man question for you.
I've had a bad
Here we
experience.
fucking go.
What is glass made of?
Silica?
Yeah, so that's good. That's true.
Describe the process, please.
Yeah, you just heat it up.
You melt it.
Oh my gosh! All right, good job. Good job.
Describe
Bing,
the
bing,
process.
bing, 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 bing.
Bing, 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 bing. Boodaloo.
What?
Boodaloo.
Concrete, these man questions are entertaining. Keep them coming.
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
I'm waiting for someone to grab the mantle because I'm running out and I got things to.
What's
Okay.
ironic? Like this is a little vague, but what's ironic about metric the metric tool system.
What's ironic about the metrics?
There's something
I think
very ironic. Every
I think-
mechanic will tell you about the metric tool system.
I think what's funnier is the fact that we use the English system. The French
Would you have
are always
accepted
correct.
sand as an answer, Concrete?
French are always correct.
What'd you say, Jovan?
Would you have accepted sand as an answer?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
French are always correct.
What is Jovan talking
What's
about?
really ironic about the metric
Silica, sand, same
is
thing.
even though all
not the
nuts
same.
and
I don't
bolts
like
and
It's the same thing.
screws
It's
are
coarse. and it gets into
measured in
everything.
metric,
Mostly made of
all of the
silicon.
drives
Both
are
are, I
actually
guess.
It's not the
of
same.
standard
Oh,
quarter inch,
what's sand made out of?
half inch.
Other minerals.
Hold on, I really wanted to hear what Seth had to say.
Give it a try, Seth.
But Gus, I
Walnuts.
mean, Gus, go ahead, sorry, Seth.
It's funny though
Perfect
because
timing, Theo. Perfect timing.
But Gus, I'm being serious though when I say like if you, I don't know how much
If
experience
you
you've
don't
had.
shut up, Seth is going to jump
Sorry,
through the
go ahead.
internet and kill you.
I told him to go ahead. He didn't go. Sorry, go ahead, Seth. Seth.
I've got a man question.
Go ahead.
JJ.
Wait, no, it was my turn. It was my turn. I was trying to address Gus real quick.
Go ahead.
Why would you
so
ever
Gus,
address? Why would you ever do that?
Shut up.
I really do. You
That's a
got
good
laughed
question.
when I said that about the French, but I've come to the conclusion that like you come like across like good French culture, like you realize that like, you don't have any culture. Like that's so true. Like
Huh?
there's just something the way that like French conduct themselves just so much better than the way that other people do. Like I said, like they're the only people who have culture. Everything else is a misunderstanding of what culture means. Just go into like any French town or any French place. But honestly, I don't know why you were laughing when I said the French are always correct. I don't know why everyone hates the French. I don't know why.
Well, I don't hate the French. I just don't
'Cause
think they're
they're
always
smelly.
right. I don't hate them. I just don't think they're always right. That's all.
Okay. All right. So JJ, man question is, please describe, without sparing any detail, the most perfect sandwich.
There's going to be one integral part here that if you miss, you lose.
Oh shit. Stakes are high.
The
And
mustard.
if you lose,
Go
Because
ahead,
remember, this is a man question, JJ.
This is definitely a man question.
It's an impossible question.
This is not a man question.
Anything
The man question
made.
is like, how do you properly fillet a fish?
Wait a second. What? Hold on, bro. Let's just deal with this man question. That is another man question, but
You go
the two
buy
are not
your
mutually
peanut
exclusive.
butter and jam and you spread it on there.
No.
mean-
Oh my God.
The question of how to make a sandwich.
I'm
No, no, no,
gay.
no.
I'm
That
gay. and I
sounds
know
that
how to
sounds
make
like a
damn
woman
sandwich.
question to me.
Boom.
JJ.
Bingo. There it is.
I think I know what it is. Concrete.
JJ.
Is it a tofu panini?
Like how do you start a fire if you don't have a lighter?
With an aioli, you don't forget the aioli. JJ, the perfect sandwich will always include white bread, toasted or untoasted,
I don't agree with that.
mayonnaise, deli mustard, turkey, bacon,
Ooh, bacon.
lettuce, tomatoes, maybe onions, maybe not.
So a club sandwich.
Those are the club sandwich with of course, a pickle on the side.
A turkey club.
And-
Pickles are degenerate, so that's
and
correct.
I'm
plain,
sorry. Yeah,
plain
JJ,
potato,
you and I will have to fight.
plain potato chips.
Plain potato chip on the sandwich.
I bet no one here, maybe with the exception of Seamus, knows how to start a proper fire. Does anybody know?
I know how to start a proper fire.
Well, I know how to start a proper
What do you
fire,
do?
all right.
That's.
What do you mean? What do you do? There's many ways to
Spend a
start
good
a
chunk of my
fire. You get your
prepubescence
tinder
starting
first.
fires. I can start
Did you
fires.
bring a lighter?
First thing you do is you get your tinder, right? The really small bits. You're gonna make a
The app?
simpler.
You got
I
it. No, Jovan knows. That's
I
right.
put rocks in a circle, and then I put all the tinder on the bottom. Then I put little twigs on top of that.
Rocks
you get the
don't
bigger
burn
wood.
very well, Jovan.
You get the
Unless you
twigs,
use
and
a
then you
stone
get the
burner.
actual branch, like little pieces of wood. But you also want fucking. You don't burn the rocks, JJ, obviously. Then you want the bigger. You start just going up bigger and bigger sizes of wood. Make sure it's the driest shit you can find. And
What do you think is the best?
Oh shit!
Yeah, I mean
Yeah, that's the best way.
this is. But the real trick is, what do you start with? What do you
You
think
go
is a
find
good?
A lighter.
you just start.
Duh.
A
No, no,
woman.
no, not a light. I mean, the actual flame source is irrelevant here.
If you want to see a full guide on
what
how
would
to
you-
build a fire with
Yeah,
with
we could
zero
do that.
modern
I
tools,
I
you
just
should
want
watch.
to
No,
know
you should
what
watch this.
people
It's a
think.
I build
13-minute
fucking
video
fires
by
all the
a
time.
guy.
Can we
Fire.
get
wanna
one?
know what
This
Can
right
we get
here.
one instructor at a time? One
Material. What
instructor
is
at
a
a time.
good material to start with?
For
'Cause I mean,
Tinder?
I've done this many times. No, not. I wouldn't call it Tinder.
You want to start with
To
the
start
driest,
with,
It's
the
that's literally
driest
what you
wood
start with.
around.
I keep
The
a
Well, I
driest.
wouldn't.
No,
I
the
wouldn't
first
start with
thing that you
wood.
do.
bracelet
What
Here,
I
I can
would-
explain. I could
just
explain
for
it a
this.
You
little
guys know
bit.
what
I'm just gonna
cattails
start
are?
with some authority.
You
You guys
actually
know what
can use the
cattails are?
inside of the
Some authority on
paracord
this.
Yeah,
So
so
with
I
how
think
about
if you're
it's
thinking of what
cotton
I'm thinking
for
of,
Tinder.
Alex, then yes.
Yeah, you
Oh,
just
yeah,
like the spark so
cattail,
much as touches any
Mike
part
it
of a
up. Let's
cattail,
shoot
the
it.
whole
Mike
thing
it up
fucking
right now.
ignites.
possibly some nice dry grass.
What?
No, that's terrible. That's terrible.
You want to
That's
use like a dead?
horrible.
No, it's
You want
not.
to use
You
dead
That's
tree?
use
You want to use
No,
like
guys.
it's
dead
very
tree
good.
bark? If you could use some like really thin, like maybe dead grass from like around a pond
You
or
can
something.
use
But
the inside of a cotton paracord cord. So if you have like a
You
paracord
could,
survival bracelet, use
Yeah.
that. Like,
if it's cotton. Cotton is good.
Do
The
you know
best
what
thing to
birchwood
use
is?
if you're on the eastern coast is to use birch bark. You can
Exactly.
use
That's what I
Birch
shavings
just
bark
of
is
did.
birch.
very
Yep.
good. That's true.
Yeah.
So, but
you
like
can
what
make
you
a
need to
canoe out of
do,
birch.
what you need to do is you need to already have your TP fire already set up and ready with all the sticks and all the tinder and all that stuff underneath it. But then what
Yeah,
you need to
that's
have
right.
is you need to have something to catch your coal in that you make.
Yeah.
And that could be a lot of things, but it
That's
definitely
right.
shouldn't be grass. It should be something like birch bark, or it could be something like they have this
Why
old
do you
dead
think grass
moss
is
that
back?
sometimes hangs on trees. And if you pull that down, what you need to do first is you need to
Moss
fluff it up.
works.
You need to fluff it up to buff the surface area of it. And so what you then do is you can go through that video and look at what that guy does. He does it with no modern tools. That's the most sickest video of all time.
There's also some fungus that you can use.
Yeah, that might work. I've never used fungus, but yeah, if it's dry. I used to
Cedar?
have collections of these things.
Cedar can be lit while damp, which is
There's a
nice.
lot of ways. The best way to do it is to build
start
like he does, build a bow drill. But there's like a few things that a lot of people will mess up. I think two of the biggest tips on a bow drill is the top, the pressure plate that you put on top of it. You can get a little bit of pine wax or whatever inside of it, and then you take that so that you don't want that side to heat up. You want the bottom side to heat up, and you can use that. And another thing is you never bow drill completely parallel to the ground. You always put it at an angle so that the wire or the rope that's coming around your bow doesn't rub on each other. Because oftentimes people will spend 2.5 hours making a bow drill, and then what they'll do is they'll just hold it completely perpendicular. And what happens is both sides of the rope are rubbing on each other, and then they'll just snap the rope and be screwed. You can look in the video where he shows you how to do that. You angle the bow drill just a little bit, and what it does is it makes it so it doesn't rub against each other. That will save you a lot of time.
So some of you might know this, but if you can find an old pine stump and pull it up and then shave off bits of the pine root,
Yes.
has what do you call it? What's in that? It's the
Xanthemum gum.
the pine sap, whatever the
Fibrous?
fuck it is.
Oh,
No,
no.
it's flammable. It's like turpentine or not
Oh,
turpentine.
I didn't know that.
Whatever it is. Very light's very. I mean, it's gonna feel damp, but it's soaked with old pine sap, which is flammable. I think they call it light or not.
No, I think you're talking about fat wood.
It's pine.
Yeah, that's pine.
That's what I said.
I
don't know what fat wood is though.
I
Have
think
you ever
that's
heard of the technique of what's called like banking a fire before you go to sleep? What they'll do is they'll actually cover the coals with dirt, and what happens is that will actually preserve it a lot more than the open air, and you can oftentimes wake up and the coals will still be ready to go. It's called banking a fire.
So with regarding filleting of fish, of course you sharpen your fillet knife. You gut the fish, removing all of its inner. Then you begin at the stomach, slowly cutting, not totally deep, slowly cutting along the stomach, along the tail, along the
Wait, you
top
didn't cut
fin.
off its head yet?
No, you cut around the gill, cut around the fin, the top fin, around the tail fin, and around the stomach. You cut, and then from the tail fin, you begin to go all the way through the middle section of the fish, and that would be filleting the fish. And then, of course, once you've removed the fillet from the carcass,
Don't you cut the head off? Don't you cut the head off first?
No.
You need to remove
Speaking of mad question, is that Maroon 5 playing in the
I
background?
mean, you could do it that way, but I do it a bit differently. The first thing I do is obviously you gut the fish. You start from his butthole, you enter the knife in his butthole, and the idea is you don't want to press in very far. Your knife should only go in a couple centimeters. If you puncture some of his inner journal, it's going to.
Why would you do that at all, though?
No. I'll explain why. Because if you're coming in from the top and you're trying to fillet and you go too far down, you'll poke into that cavity and the same thing. So the first thing you want to do is lightly enter his butthole, and then you just lightly move the knife up all the way up to underneath his chin. And then what you do is once you've done that, the knife should be completely angled. You don't want to have it straight, like perpendicular. You want to have it almost parallel. So you're just getting the tip in. And then what you can do is you can just pull. If you do it right, you can just pull all his guts out in one string. Okay. Then another thing that a lot of people don't know is that he has what's called an air bladder, and that air bladder is just above his stomach cavity. And once you cut through that, you'll see his ribs. But if you don't cut through that, it's there'll be like a little pocket of kind of nasty in there, and if you cook it, it'll be worse. You're going to puncture that, and then what will happen is you'll see a bloodline coming down his stomach. The best thing to do is just to spray out all that blood. Now that you have him completely gutted, what I do is I make a first incision right behind his pectoral fin and up towards his head. So it's like you're cutting his head off, but you're not. You just make a nice gash down that side. Then what you do is you start from the top of the fish where he has his dorsal fin, and you barely edge the knife all the way down his back to his tail so that it just punctures just a little bit. Then what you can do is you can get your finger in there, okay? And then you take your fillet knife. And this is the part that takes some skill. You flex the fillet knife. What you do is you press it in and you put pressure on it down. And what you can do is you can start to scrape down his backbone. And as you start to scrape, the knife is flexed, and you scrape. As you're pulling that fillet off, you're scraping more and more and more. Right now, what will happen is most fish, right, that are not a flat fish, are going to have a rib cage. Now, if you saw through his rib cage, you're going to have ribs embedded in the fish meat. Now, what you do is once you feel that, you begin to come up a little bit over top of his rib cage, okay? Now, because if you don't, you're going to have ribs embedded in it, and then you're going to have to make an incision on the actual fillet itself to remove his ribs. But if you do it the way I'm talking about, you come over top of his rib cage, so the fillet will be a bit thinner in that spot. Once you've made it over top of the rib cage, then you can puncture down into the stomach cavity. And then the fillet, if you look at it, will be angled in such a way that it will depress where the stomach cavity and where the ribs are, and then it will get bigger towards the end of the fillet. And then so that's what you do. And then all you got to do is you make a small incision. A lot of people will just keep the back part attached to the fish because then it allows you to have more pressure on the fish. And then you can come underneath between the skin and the rest of the meat, and you'll flex the fillet knife again, and then you can just literally come straight through while holding the back of the fish. A lot of times I'll hold the tail and kind of wiggle it as I'm coming through to skin it, and then you'll have a skinless, boneless fillet. That's for any non-flat fish. For a flat fish like a flounder or something like that, or fluke, they're quite a bit different.
I think all I really learned about this is that fish have chins.
Yeah, I like to go fishing with you, Seamus. I'll be good.
The best cut of beef.
My dad was a pro fisher. Like, he did it professionally.
Best cut of beef is the fillet.
Wait, explain what's happening when you sharpen a knife.
New York strip, definitely.
Although, well, where is the fillet? That's in the what?
Rib cage.
It's part of the rib eye steak?
No, it's the rib. It's a. Hold on one second.
Come on, the fillet is part of a larger steak typically. Anyway.
Inside the rib cage.
Yeah, I have no
Have you
idea
ever
what
seen the a microscopic image of a knife?
Explain what's happening when you sharpen a knife, man.
You're creating a finer edge.
Do you guys ever sharpen a knife just by using whetstones?
Yeah.
What's the preferred method, Ava?
Yo,
Wood
what
chisels
up,
also.
bro? Yeah,
The
I'm
more
just trying to make
effective.
Discord great again.
I still don't understand why the butthole is a better method. It seems like you're losing out by doing that.
Why are you guys talking about gay shit?
The
About
idea
poking
is you
things
want
in
to
the
get
ass.
that out so that if you make a little bit deeper cut coming into the fillet, that you don't puncture that cavity and then spoil your meat. So always want to gut it first. It's Concrete was absolutely right about that, and I always keep the head on there as well. It just makes you can control it better with the head on there. But you always want to get the guts out first. And the easiest way to do it is to already start with his butthole, because then you don't have to puncture anything. You just slip the tip just barely
Why do
in
you
there.
think that that's not the way that most people do it then?
I think most people slip the
Well,
tip
I
in.
don't know. I'm not sure of the way that most people do it. But what's the way that most people do it?
Start at the head, cut from the back of the skull down in front of the gill, and then just turn your knife horizontally and cut all the way down the spine.
Oh
And then
no,
just pull out the.
that's the lazy way. If you do it that way, it's faster. That's the absolute fastest way to do it. I know exactly what you're talking about, but you will
That's the way
lose
Gordon Ramsay
so
does
much.
it,
You will
motherfucker.
lose so much meat by doing that. So much meat will be left on the fish when you do that way. So the way that I'm talking about is when you flex the knife down and you use the tip of the knife guiding it down his spine. And what you'll hear is a clicking, click, 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 as it hits the rib, click, 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 just like that, as you're bending the fillet off of him. And what happens is when you hold that fish up after he's done, you can literally see through it. It's translucent. You can see right through it because it's just there's no meat left on it. The way that you do it, the way that you're talking about, will have probably a quarter inch of meat still left on the actual fish itself.
I don't think so. If you do it right, you can get almost all the meat. I can even show you videos of people getting almost all of it. I'll send you one of Gordon Ramsay right now, motherfucker.
Gordon Ramsay, I wouldn't even consider it. I wouldn't consider him. Look, I mean, he's a professional cook.
What the fuck did you just say, man?
Wait, you gotta let him finish.
What I'm
You
saying
didn't
is
quite finish.
he's not the type of guy that's going to be what I would consider someone that's super knowledgeable. I'm talking about people that work in fish houses, et cetera, like that.
You don't think Gordon Ramsay is knowledgeable on how to cut a salmon to where you get the most efficient meat out of it with an efficient cost?
No, I don't.
Show him the
That might
video.
sound absurd,
Show him the
but I
video.
don't.
Just show him the video.
That is insane. Let me look up videos of him.
Look at him presenting a lobster on MasterChef, and look at him presenting a salmon. It's his portions. Everything are fucking beautiful and perfect.
Yeah,
I've never
you can
seen
still
anyone.
look at it and say it's not good enough.
I've never seen someone fillet a fish better than him.
Why are you guys talking about cooking fish? Seems like a really boring topic.
Shameless
Unless
said
the
it was a
topic
man.
started
It was
by
a man
Shamos
quiz.
claiming you
It's
guys
better-
aren't alpha
it's better-
for not
it's better
knowing
than
how to
peop-
do this.
It's better
John,
than
I'm
people
sure there's
attacking
another
each other.
server where you can entertain yourself.
I mean, I'm just trying to make Discord great again. I don't come on here much, but when I do come on here, you guys are talking about cutting fish and shit.
Right.
It seems pretty depressing.
So go make things
Postmark-
great somewhere else.
Yeah, this one time that you came in and we're talking about cutting.
Like I
Postmodernism,
was
man.
saying, I
Postmodernism in
hope-
like 30 seconds.
Like I was saying, I hope this conversation started by Shamos explaining to you guys your beta for not knowing how to cut fish. I'd be a little relieved if that's the case.
Yeah, pretty much, but not really shameless.
Not explicitly.
Let me explain to you something else. The way that Jovan's advocating they do it is where you just cut right behind his head, across his gills, and then you just come in from there and you just work it down his spine. Now, if you look at a fish, what happens is hit the center of his spine, the center of it actually protrudes up like a few more centimeters than his ribs.
This is him just doing it real quick, just slapping
So
it
what,
out real quick.
but
just
what
to
I'm
be-
saying is, if you come down that spine, what happens is you've left meat that is in between, lower than the spine, and I mean, and
Oh
on
yeah,
his
let's
rib.
look at. Just go ahead and look at the video. Let's see how much is left on there. Probably way less than anything you've ever left on there, honestly.
Yeah, you know,
Also-
one method
Bro,
might be better than the other, depending on the fish.
I wish you knew who you're talking to.
That also comes down to knife skill as well. If you're gonna start getting picky about.
Has anyone ever done this? Like at a sushi restaurant, if you order a whole fish, they'll fillet it for you, turn it into sushi or sashimi, and then they'll deep fry the carcass and you eat those like chips. Anybody ever did that?
This motherfucker just told me that Gordon Ramsay does not know how to cut a fish. That's
The
what
sushi,
that motherfucker just told me.
real sushi doesn't taste like the sushi you eat at like restaurants.
What?
I've had real sushi. Yeah, it's shocking.
You've had real sushi and it doesn't taste
You mean
like
because
a what?
because it's clean and not guts on it?
No, I've had
Because I guarantee you went out and probably killed a fish, and then you ate the meat and thought that was sushi. Sushi is a different quality than what you eat.
No,
it's not the quality. It's the
Tio has said
process.
this before, and it's dumb. But let's let him just say it.
Well, I've had sushi that was homemade and it doesn't taste like it tastes at a restaurant, and I've got that.
That's
confirmed
because they
by the
did it
person.
wrong.
Yeah, I just watched the way that he did that. That's pathetic. That's
Why?
pathetic.
Wait. Why is it stupid when a Japanese person makes you sushi and says this is what sushi is like? Why is that dumb?
I think you guys have gotten confused that you think, because he's a chef, he understands how to do it. That way right there was literally horrible. If you just go straight down his spine, you're missing all of the meat that's lower. That the spine, the ridge of his spine sticks up higher than any part of his bones. So if you cut down that, you're leaving meat in between his ribs. You should never do that.
There's
dude. That is the
barely any
worst.
meat. Look, you have to go in between each individual one and
Oh
cut
my
it.
God, this is so sad, dude. This is so sad. I'm gonna go.
Look
dig
how
into my
look him
GoPro.
pull up the head. He barely moved out. Wait, listen. I'll take a picture of how much meat's still left in there.
Look at him hold up this. Look at him hold up the carcass. It's fucking empty.
Yeah, Dio,
Shamos is
Japanese
insane
people
right now.
make sushi
He
in
went
restaurants.
from midway down the fish all the way straight down his spine.
I know, but
That's-
they Americanize it to sell it. Jesus Christ.
What's the Americanization that they do to it?
I don't know because I don't eat sushi.
But what?
Americanization of sushi.
Hold on.
Jesus Christ. I've had a
What?
Japanese person. She's a fucking very good cook. She made me sushi.
Tell me how did it go?
She said this is not how they don't cook sushi like how we cook sushi. This is not the correct way.
Well, you don't
And
cook most
let
sushi.
me finish. Let me
Cook
finish for fuck's sake.
sushi?
So before you attack me, right? Listen to the complete response. Fuck, because you're just being assuming if you don't. All right, so
I'm gonna find one on
so
YouTube.
Look at this. Look at all this salmon still on there. Oh my
So
god,
they
so much
Americanize
salmon
it.
still left on there.
They Americanize it, right? to
There
make it
is.
more
There actually
sellable.
is. If you were to, what the idea, this is, let me explain to you something, bro. You think this is funny because you're so naive. That's why.
Daniel, show me something with less salmon on
No,
there
we
than
need some
that.
barbecue salmon ribs.
Substantially. I don't mean like pieces of it. I mean substantially less salmon than
No,
that.
listen, that's not even bragging rights. What you do is you leave the whole fish intact except for the fillets, and then what you do is you hold it up and you can see through it. Okay, that fish has been cut in such a way that his whole body has been fucking dismantled, and it just has the ribs. That's not what I'm talking about. You should have the whole silhouette of the fish should be exactly as he was when he was in that water. And then the big boss guys that do it for a living and really hang their hats on this type of
Not
shit.
Gordon
they will
Ramsay,
hold
the
fish
amateur.
up. They will hold the whole silhouette of the fish up, not diced up like that. So you will be able to see the whole outline of the fish exactly the way that he's swimming through the water. And as he holds it up, the whole entire carcass will be completely translucent. You will see straight through the fish.
I'm almost being cracked right now.
Yeah, he's the gaslighter of the year.
Bro, oh my God, you guys are so naive. This is unreal. This is so unreal.
Yeah,
He
you know what?
basically
See, Jovan, the thing is,
Yeah, that's the reason
you're
why-
not.
that's the reason why they- that's why they can
He didn't
sell
even
you
make
that.
barbecue ribs out of it, Jovan. This isn't good enough.
That's the reason why they can sell you.
Can you
sushi.
guys
It's not
imagine
really sushi.
Shamos in culinary school?
He's like, you guys didn't use the intestines properly.
You're like, you think those names that they like those American?
Like I'm
names,
looking
like,
at a guy that's actually on the water doing this shit. And there's so much more left on that shit.
like Cajun roll.
Underwater, you
You think
said?
there's a Cajun roll in Japan?
No, look, the basic process, Dio, of sushi is outlined in a documentary called Hero Dreams of Sushi.
Okay, that may be
And
true.
this is a Japanese guy in Japan, and
I'm not disagreeing
yeah, the
with you.
process. All
I
right,
don't think
so
I'm not disagreeing with you.
you're right. They have American rolls, but the general process, and I know Japanese family that own a sushi restaurant, and their stuff is the best, right? Father, wife, and daughter.
The diff is good.
I wouldn't
Oh,
say
shit,
it
this
was.
filet was
I
still
wouldn't say.
alive.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't say that it was like. I felt like it was better when I ate the sushi that this woman made me. It actually felt like it required like more discrimination and taste. Like it actually was kind of plain. I feel like the sushi that they make
Damn,
like
can
at
you show me a
restaurants,
video of somebody doing it better than
it's
that?
just got too much like flavor. They
With
add
your
too
method?
much. Nah.
Joe Van's diving on D.
So, yeah, there's something about it being. I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to use. You just have to have. This is gonna sound pretentious, but you have to have like I guess, a more refined palate to get the taste out of it, because it's actually not very. It's not very tasteful. It's not. But like the fucking shit that they make here, like in America, it's like it's just like blasted with taste.
Well, the thing
And
is,
so-
Dio, sushi is marinated. Did you know that?
What?
I don't know that much about sushi.
Okay, so
What?
sushi? Yeah,
What do you
sushi is
mean?
marinated.
No,
That's the
That's
that's
not
the
all the
trick.
time.
What do you mean? Now, listen.
It
relax.
depends on the roll and the cut of fish going into the
Right,
roll.
it's not
whether
like
they're
a-
marinated.
Relax. Tuna, salmon, they all get marinated. You didn't know that? See, that's
Last
the thing.
time I
That's the
had
trick.
last time I had a
What do
tuna
they get
roll.
marinated? What do they get marinated in, Concrete?
It's in a mixture of. It's a mixture of mirin, soy sauce, and sake. Right?
Have
And
you had
know how I know?
nigiri before?
Are you saying that some
And you
sushi
know-
is
excuse me.
marinated or
Or
all
sashimi,
sushi is
sorry.
marinated?
Yeah, I don't.
Excuse
You
me.
said
Look,
the
look.
salmon and the tuna, like
Look,
always.
look. Oh my god! You're just gonna just fucking talk.
Well, yeah, I don't
We're
care
just-
because you're wrong.
We're
Trying to
asking
get
for
So
clarification.
all I'll do
Concrete.
right now is I'll get Chef Morimoto and his
Say
fucking
it right.
recipe for salmon sushi, and I'll post it in general chat. Okay?
Right.
So you're saying
So-
this is an
From
ideal way to cook sushi?
Gourmet magazine.
What's your wait? Just lock down what he's saying. Country, what are you saying exactly? What's your
He's. I think he's saying.
Sushi
Let him
is
say it, let him say it.
marinated. Sushi is marinated. You don't.
Okay,
you don't
so-
go from. Not all of it.
Oh,
of
you
course.
can
There's different-
sushi? Yeah, you can marinate sushi,
So look,
right?
salmon is marinated, tuna is marinated.
No, you can marinate
sure,
fish.
There's tons of exactly. You marinate the sushi.
If
Don't
you
So-
don't, if you
Pasta
don't,
you're not-
is sauce.
If you don't-
cevicheing it, you're not cevicheing it. You're marinating it.
if you don't marinate it, is it sushi?
Of course, you can have sushi that's not marinated, but we're
Okay.
talking about the typical process
Typical.
of.
I wouldn't say that's
All right,
typical.
not as stupid. This
Typical
stupid
of
idiot
what?
who doesn't.
Hold on, let him
So you
finish and
haven't-
find
have
out.
you
The
studied
typical
it?
what?
Have you
Chef
studied it?
Morimoto
Here, I'll
knows
just
more
get
than you.
Morimoto. Look.
He still
I'll
hasn't
just get
finished it.
Morimoto.
Right. Country, what are you saying?
I'll
The
just
typical
get-
what?
Typical method of preparing sushi includes marinating.
I'm just saying, like real sushi is just not nearly as like.
Oh,
tasteful
Jovan,
as
you're okay with
American.
that now?
How do you grill
What?
sushi?
What do you mean? I'm not supporting it or anything. I just wanted him to get
No,
it.
are you satisfied with what he was saying now?
Yeah.
You are satisfied with what he said?
So I worked.
Satisfied that that's
Knowing,
what he
with
means.
knowing
Look,
what
you're
he's saying.
you're
Yeah.
you're just mad because your intuitions didn't tell you that sushi is fucking
It
marinated.
can be marinated. I've had marinated sushi before, but it's not typically marinated.
I don't think I've ever. had
Again, that's just your intuition.
So, Concrete, I worked at a sushi restaurant, and less than 4 items on the menu were.
Again,
And we
sushi
had
is marinated.
30 items on the menu. It was sushi,
Yes.
not marinated.
So tell me,
I'm
tell
pretty
me what's not
sure.
marinated.
I'm pretty sure in Japan, which is like the sushi capital of the world, right? the less sauce, right? I mean, to actually put more sauce on
Just look,
sushi is
I
like
just
an
gave you a
insult to the
documentary.
chef.
I just gave you a documentary. It's called Hero Dreams of Sushi. You'll enjoy it, and you won't be so.
It's Hyro, by the way.
So technically, sushi
No.
in Japanese is translated to marinated rice. So technically, he's right.
Marinated rice.
That was just me trolling. But
Big
it does mean marinated rice.
Oh,
Well, we're
yeah,
talking
the
about
rice-
fish.
It's marinated
Yeah,
in
the
fish.
rice is marinated. The tuna and the salmon are not typically marinated. I don't
You
think
don't know what
ever.
the fuck you're talking about.
It's a way to prepare it. It's a way to dress it, but it's not how you make it sushi.
Yeah, that's. You don't
Isn't
know what
it
you're talking about either.
marinated in the rice though?
No.
No, the rice is.
No, but
Yeah,
I know, I know.
The only way we can understand that. Joe.
I also know that they are like some of the Japanese people are irate because they're not selling like correct sushi or whatever. If you want to say that, and they are gonna like I read about this in like New York Times, and they are like trying to like certify and say like this is actually what sushi is supposed to taste like. They're gonna like have like a certification thing because I know like some Japanese have had problems with that.
So interesting enough, sashimi is considered sushi, even though it's not technically sushi.
So look at the name of the YouTube video. It's called How to
Sashimi is
Marinate
just
Tuna.
sliced raw fish.
And look at the name of the channel, How to Sushi.
How to sushi.
Well,
Wait,
that
that's just
convinces
saying-
me.
That just means that it could be a
Not-
version of sushi, though.
All right, show me an unmarinated fucking salmon.
Yeah, sure. Go to any Japanese restaurant and ask for sashimi, and it's coming unmarinated. It's the same fish.
Correct.
They don't do anything different.
See, but the thing
I
is,
worked at the
I got
Japanese
it.
restaurant. It's all the same. They
You a
do
chef?
not marinate.
You a sushi chef?
I don't need to be. When the
Are you
sushi
a
chefs
sushi chef?
physically told me that they didn't do that.
Are you a
'Cause I asked
sushi
how I
chef?
can make it.
Got
Yeah,
it.
I asked them how I can make it at home.
Are you a sushi chef?
Wow.
Sushi stuff?
I read a recipe from a sushi chef.
Are you a
So,
sushi?
but you didn't actually physically go there. Okay. Thank you.
Oh, this is so stupid. You're just mad because they.
I like the
they-
man
Hey,
questions
hey,
better. How
concrete.
do you think the
You're
Go
mad
ahead.
Concrete.
They didn't want to tell you you're Caucasian as the.
Have you
secret
been
of
to
their
the
Japanese
Asian
secrets.
like capital of the United States in California, where they don't marinate their sushi?
Dude, look, tell Hero in his documentary not to marinate his fucking sushi. Then tell fucking Morimoto, don't marinate your sushi. Then tell them all. Say don't marinate your sushi because that's not the way you do it, bro.
It's a way that it can be dressed and prepared, but it's not what makes it.
Yeah. Go
All right,
ahead
you know what?
and
I asked
tell
next.
these fucking.
Here, my girlfriend's Asian. She said they don't normally marinate sushi. Get ready.
Perfect. Now we have the actual answer.
My girlfriend's Asian too.
My girlfriend's
She's
Asian.
My girlfriend's Asian too. She's Japanese.
My girlfriend's Asian too.
Yeah, my girlfriend's Asian, but she's like
Same.
Chinese.
My girlfriend's actually.
Her name's Char. She's gonna tell you what's up.
Dang it. Hey, can you not flex on us, please?
Well, I mean, Shar is not. Is that Shar? Because
No.
oh, that's okay. I was gonna fucking go into Shar. I don't even consider Shar Asian. I don't know what the fuck she is.
What?
She's
I think she would disagree with that, Seth.
She's
She's
just like-
Taiwanese, so
No,
she's
she's
pretty
just
much
like a
Chinese.
So upset that I had to run out to my
She's-
truck and grab my SD cards from my GoPro from like 2 years ago. And I am
Oh,
gonna
shit.
Give you a video. I am going to give you a video of someone
Hell
playing with
yeah.
Fish Better, and
I'd
it's
like
going to
to
be a
see it.
video of me. It'll be
We'll
a good
see.
minute.
Sounds like anecdotal evidence.
That's not it.
Video is an anecdotal.
Would be because it's a memory of yours. You've just been able to provide like empirical version of your.
Yeah,
Get wrecked, Seamus.
Empirical is opposite of anecdote, dumbass. You just contradicted yourself. Stop
No,
being stupid.
no
So-
logic. No logic based would be the opposite of empirical.
What the fuck?
So, Concrete, I can't
No, no,
find
Wait,
an
what?
anecdote is defined as not being empirical.
I'm looking it up right now. Most people even say that sashimi is not, but that's completely tangential. But I can't find anything saying that the fish cooked with sushi is typically marinated. It's just referring to rice as being marinated.
Yeah, that's the only thing that's marinated. Is just the
Oh,
rice.
I found something that
Sort of marinated. I guess.
I
it's
found something
It's
that
like
says
seasoned or something. I
I'm
don't know.
still
which one.
looking right now.
I found
Go ahead.
something that says fish cooked with sushi is typically marinated.
Post it. Is it?
You
Concrete
better
Blog?
not
Is
be
it
memeing,
concrete?
Alex.
Is it concrete
Alex,
blog?
if you mean, problems, bro.
Oh.
Oh, he's threatening you with a good time.
He sniffed his own fucking thing.
More memes, more problems.
He had
Fish
to type
cooked
it
with
in.
sushi. What?
I'm just gonna do marinated sushi.
There's no other way to do sushi.
I mean, I don't know. Not much falls on or turns on this. I don't know why it's a big deal.
People's
Yeah.
ignorance turns on this.
I mean,
Ignorant
I
assholes
guess
like JJ can no
The
longer be
only
asshole
thing
ignorance.
that
But-
really turns on this is whether
Concrete-
or not concrete is dumber than.
Let's say that those particular chefs marinate their shit with it. That doesn't mean that it's typically marinated.
Right.
All right, so here's the thing, right? You're gonna taste raw unmarinated salmon, and then you're gonna taste.
I have.
marinated
It's
salmon.
amazing.
And this guy is so stupid. It's so fucking amazing.
Just continue.
Anyway, so when you taste marinated salmon, you will never want to eat.
You realize it's
unmarinated
typically made that way.
It's typically marinated. I can't fucking
Windy
help
as
you.
fuck outside.
Thank you so much. So what Concrete just said, I think, is that when you eat marinated sushi, you then realize typically sushi's marinated. Is that what you're trying to say, Concrete?
No, it tastes
Oh, okay.
delicious and nutritious.
So
you never
we're
want to
gonna
go
we're
back to the
gonna
non-delicious version.
we're gonna rewind. So is sushi
Salmon's
typically
naturally
marinated?
salmon's naturally sweet.
Is
Tuna
sushi
is
typically marinated? Concrete?
delicious.
Can't help you guys. Nah, I don't know why the.
No, Concrete, please
sauce-
answer that question. So now I'm
I didn't hear what he
confused.
said. I didn't hear what he said.
Is sushi typically marinated? As in,
Oh,
is it
God. I'm
marinated
done.
more than it is not?
I'm done.
Concrete's mad because he was having a good time, and then we focused on him a little too much.
Turned into assholes.
Yeah, I'm sorry, buddy.
I'm not being an asshole. I'm seriously trying to figure out this claim. Well, this shit.
I'm not even 100%
seems
that
like
I
you
think
just
he's
went back on
wrong.
this.
I'm
It
willing
seems
to
like
be
you
right.
just went in on it.
I
It
just
seems
want
like
to
you
some
just back on the
recipes.
claim.
I
You
just
think
want to
I'm-
gotcha.
Look, you must think I'm making it up. What all that's
Yes.
happening is your intuitions are fighting against my claims, and I've got to just keep posting information. So I've already posted a video from how to sushi, how to marinate tuna,
Right.
and I already told you what the ingredients are: sake,
So-
mirin, sake,
there's
mirin,
a problem.
sometimes
That's actually a
sugar.
fallacy. I'm trying to remember the name
Sake,
of it.
sake, mirin, sometimes sugar,
Concretum
soy sauce.
assholio.
Right? That's the typical marinade. How did I come
Concrete.
up with that marinade? Because I fucking read a recipe book on how to do sushi.
You read a
Okay,
recipe
okay, whoa,
book?
whoa, whoa, whoa,
So
whoa.
because one book
Allow me
says
to
this.
fucking clarify this shit.
Oh
I mean,
boy.
the problem
Basis
is that
is here.
sushi as such is the way certain ingredients are, prepared, like using rice and you roll it up and that's
Right.
it. But that's the type of the dish. Now, what you insert in that dish is going to vary. You can insert
Right.
vegetables or whatever. Now, if Concrete is saying that the tuna used in sushi is usually marinated, that could be the case, right? Could be typically the case, yeah.
That's what we're
Could
trying
be.
to figure
Well,
out.
we're trying to
Yes.
yeah,
Thank
we're
you.
trying to
Thank you,
wonder.
Jason.
The thing is that goes against most of our experiences with sushi. So most of these,
No. Your experience is eating it. Your
and
experience
we don't
isn't
see,
cooking
and
it.
we don't see anything online that
I
references.
just posted it.
Look,
Sushi
Concrete
is
right there.
literally
marinate
cooked,
Okay, if I
Concrete.
put
It's literally
if I
uncooked
have a
fish.
YouTube channel called How to Cook, and then I put how to make mac and
Well, you
cheese,
just
do you
said
think
it
that
didn't
making mac and
exist.
cheese is the only
Wait.
way that you
All
can
right, look,
cook?
I got another one for you, bro. You just said it didn't
Oh.
exist. I got another recipe for you.
You
Give me
didn't
a second.
understand the reason I just used, did you?
Recipes
You
vary,
said
though.
you have nothing indicating that it's marinated, and I just gave
No,
you
what
some
did I just say? What
indicate.
was my hypothetical?
I'll
answer?
ignore it. I'm just gonna keep finding bits of evidence, and I'll post
So
it
you
for
didn't
you.
listen to a word I said.
I don't know if he
posting
read
videos
us
of them
somewhere.
making
marinated stuff.
Yeah, I
That
don't know if
doesn't
he
mean
read
it's
that
generally
sushi's-
marinated.
I don't know if he read that sushi's marinated rice, like because the vinegar and sugar combination they put in it, but maybe that's what he
He's
meant.
just pulling up recipes of stuff that's marinated.
We get it, Concrete.
I don't even know what else to
Marinated
do.
tuna is
What else?
yummy.
What else would you like? All right. So
Something
look,
that
there's
would back up the
recipes
claim that
showing.
sushi is typically
One
marinated.
second.
Concrete.
One second.
Your reasoning is because the video says how to
Alright, go ahead.
and it says how to make marinated tuna. Making marinate. Oh, you can only have marinated dishes of sushi. That's like saying that if you have a YouTube channel called How to Cook and make mac and cheese, how to make mac and cheese, that you can the only way to cook is to make mac and cheese. Doesn't make any sense, Concrete.
Javon, you said you had no evidence of it being marinated. That's why I.
That's not
pointed
what I
to the video.
said.
Now, anyway, I posted another video.
I said I have no
Check-
evidence of it being typically marinated.
Okay, I got a video for another video from Chef Morimoto. He's preparing the salmon.
Yeah, is that going to be evidence
it
of it
in
being
Just watch
typically
it.
marinated?
Just watch it. Fucking A, watch it.
You understand the operative word is
Can't help
typically,
you,
right?
bro. I can't help you. I don't know what else to do.
Look, what is
Now
you
you
was
want an
posting a
empirical
video
study.
of
Now
one
you want
guy
an empirical
making
study.
marinated sushi. Gonna-
Chef Morimoto is one guy. So when you posted Gordon Ramsay, you
He
just
is
thought
literally
Gordon
one guy.
Ramsay
Yes,
is
he
one
is
guy.
literally one guy.
All right, so
yeah.
now you're just being pedantic. This is not helpful. Let's move
No,
on.
no. Do you understand that the two claims that we're making are substantially different? I was
Look,
referring
I don't
to
even know why this is so hard.
look. My
Why is
claim
it so
referenced
hard?
a better way to do something, which you only
Do you
need
have a
one person.
methodology, or do you have a bit of evidence that I could give you
He
that
doesn't
would
listen to
satisfy
what I
you?
say, man. It's
Do you
weird.
have some evidence that I can provide that will satisfy you?
Yes.
Thus far, I've posted videos that
You
do
need
not
to show
satisfy you.
me something that references particular numbers. It can't simply be one person making one dish, right? It needs to be something referencing sushi in general.
All right, so I've posted a video from Food and Wine Magazine, a prestigious culinary magazine with a prestigious chef preparing salmon sushi. Did you bother to watch it? Yes.
I don't understand how me watching one
Did you
video.
bother to watch
What am I gonna
it?
watch? Him prepare a dish?
But when
I
you
see
watching
that
it
there's
now.
a
So
set.
when you
I don't need to
presented,
watch it though. What is it? Does
so when
it
you
give me
presented,
information in the video? Is that what it is?
when you presented Gordon Ramsay,
I'm watching it now.
did you not take it that this professional should be considered for the work that they're
It
doing?
was a substantially different claim.
Okay, so I don't know if you're not going to look at the evidence that I present. You just want the, I guess, the knockout blow.
That's
Let me see if I
just
can find a
one
knockout blow.
person's
Okay.
prep. That's
One
just
second.
one person's
I'll-
way to prepare
I
it.
don't know what else to do. I don't know what else to do. Tell me what you want. Do you want me to find a fucking survey of sushi chefs that say they marinate their sushi?
Concrete.
Pull it
I
from
can
a
tell you right
culinary
now,
school.
All I can do-
if my
all I
claim
can do
was
is
that
reference a recipe.
typically, if my claim was
All
that
right, give me
typically
1 second,
people
bro.
do this, I wouldn't post Gordon Ramsay saying, "Look, Gordon Ramsay does this. Therefore, typically people do this."
I don't know what else to do.
You
bro.
can just pull from a culinary school, which you can't.
Well, that's not typical preparation of salmon sushi. Nigiri.
You shouldn't
Tom.
say
Now
Oh,
we,
shit.
now we have
You
a
can say-
now we have a new
Yeah, but concrete
Know
Tom.
this, man.
Well, look, Tom's a resident Asian professional. Tom, is sushi prepared typically by marinating the fish?
Well, it depends on what you mean by sushi, which is why I specifically said nigiri, which is what that guy was making. That's
Oh my god.
so if Concrete presented this video, then he is applying this in some respect to nigiri. So I'm comfortable saying that when it comes to nigiri, no, that it's not typical at all. I've actually never even seen it done.
It may be. I'm looking at it right now. Depending on the species, the fish may be served raw and thin slices is grilled and marinated. But obviously, what you're saying is isn't typical. Yeah, I see that. Now, as a whole, it doesn't really. I've been looking at every single version: Uramaki, Dunkin', Tamaki, and none of them say that they're typically marinated. Some don't even refer to marination at all.
Concrete.
Yeah, so I don't know what else to do for you.
Just admit that you're a dumb fuck.
I bet that he.
No.
I'm a
I
dumb
bet.
fuck.
I bet that he found this video by typing in marinating sushi. That's probably
Right.
how he
And
found
not
it.
of me mixed starch. So he comes in, says, I don't know it to be this way. Therefore, I'm right.
But that's what you're
and you're
doing.
wrong. I posted Chef Morimoto.
Yeah, you're
fucking
saying
world-renowned, excuse me, 1 second, bro. A world-renowned sushi chef preparing sushi the way I described it. Then Tom says, I don't know it to be done this way. And then
So
I'll post
because
another one,
Morimoto
and then I'll
does it,
post
it's
another
generally
one, and then I'll
marinated.
post another one. Give me a second.
Morimoto does it, so it's generally marinated. That's what you're saying.
Marion,
And he
no, it's not.
deafened.
It's
He
not.
deafened.
It's not even that. It's Marimoto demonstrated a technique for preparing sushi salmon. Therefore, typically it's done this way. That just doesn't follow.
It's just a method of preparation or even dressing. It does not mean that that's how sushi is sushi.
Concrete doesn't understand what evidence references what particular hypotheses and what supports any particular hypotheses. He thinks that
This is-
me posting a video of Gordon Ramsay showing a better way to fillet somebody is the same claim or a similar claim to someone saying that you typically prepare sushi in a way.
This is
It
just
doesn't make
going
any
to.
sense.
This is he's just going to broaden and broaden and broaden the definition of sushi until he can try and finesse it in there, right? That's why I tried to like narrow it down with nigiri or such starters.
He just keeps posting recipes of stuff that is marinated.
Yeah, it's dumb.
With soy marinated. Oh my god! If I put mac and cheese with hamburger in it, apparently, and I put that and just posted in here, that's evidence that mac and cheese is typically made with hamburger.
Yeah, it's called Hamburger Helper.
I know.
And what I want to know is if I followed a recipe for mac and cheese, and then when I made it again, I left one of those types of cheeses out or something. Is it still mac and cheese?
Nope.
Or is it something else?
Yeah, screw your individual taste.
Yeah, I'm still comfortable saying that tuna and salmon are not typically marinated in sushi or sashimi, for that matter.
So if I put sushi and say that it's barbecued, and I put up a recipe for barbecued sushi, apparently sushi is typically barbecued.
I think it would have to be done by a world-renowned sushi chef.
Let me find somebody like that. Hold on.
Like, if you do a Google search for how to prepare sushi, salmon sushi, you're not going to get these results. These results are from a Google search like marinating sushi, right? That's probably, anybody can do that right now. I'm sure that's going to be the case.
I'm actually doing that right now. How to prepare salmon for sushi. And let me see what the first thing comes up that do.
Yeah, and when you add the word marinate, you're going to start to see his results.
Completely different, yes. All right, here's the first video. Let's see what happens. No marination whatsoever.
Now, there's not going to be marination.
Safe raw salmon for sushi, sashimi, nigiri. Next.
Marinating sashimi is like a fucking like sin. I mean, like sashimi is like sashimi is like the purest form of like, it's like a purest sushi. It's just fish. That's it.
I think
It's
technically
weird
you
how
could say
sashimi
that
and
sashimi isn't even
the fish tastes the
sushi.
same as nigiri, right?
People try to say that sashimi is technically not sushi because sushi means
Right. Marinated rice.
and you should have it served. But people, it's still a popular Japanese dish that normally served alongside some sushi or whatever. So they just
That's
refer
why
to it as
sashimi is called sashimi and sushi is called sushi.
Right.
But yeah, no. My first time experiencing with sushi, I went to go dip just this huge fucking roll of tuna in this just ginormous fucking lake of soy sauce.
Ick.
And I just remember the sushi chef looking over at me from the counter like he wanted to put his fucking knife through my throat.
Yeah, that's
He's gonna call
terrible.
this thing he just posted is about, it talks about sprinkling rice vinegar on the salmon. He's gonna call that a marinade.
Is it marination like a timely process?
Not necessarily.
Typically.
Ooh, our first correct use of typically for the night.
Yeah, the thing he just posted has no marinade in it so
It
far.
says for the best texture and flavor. That doesn't. Jesus.
But even then, I don't know
Yeah,
if you
they
could
serve
call
the whole fish tasteless. Good job.
That's
Well,
funny.
that's sashimi, according to.
Is that a red snapper?
What?
No, snappers have much bigger mouths, I believe.
Is that an orange roughy?
No, it's a sashimi.
I don't know what kind of fish that is. It's not a tuna.
It's a
Not a
sashimi.
salmon.
Looks like a snapper, or not a.
No, it
rye.
doesn't. Have you ever I've held a snapper. These things are gargantuan fish.
Oh,
Me?
there you go.
That's a
That's a red
fucking.
snapper.
That's a red snapper. Mangrove snappers are a lot smaller than that.
Hognose snappers are the funniest looking fish.
What's an orange roughy look
By the way, this is just the same chef. which is like retarded if he's trying to make a claim about how it's usually done. He's just appealing to the same person.
He's probably not looking at the name of the chef over, and he's just he's
Right.
just looking for anything that supports him.
There's
I'm
a
actually-
roughie.
Oh, thanks. I'm actually looking for the YouTube of this guy.
That was good, Tasteless. I'm proud of you.
All right, do restaurants typically marinate their fish? Sushi restaurants.
What I don't understand is like if you go to a sushi restaurant, the dude's making it right in front of you, dude. He just like cuts the fish up and fucking puts it on the rice.
Yeah, they shouldn't
Right.
marinate it.
I mean, like what? Like you'd be able to just see it.
Yeah, that is a little bit
Concrete
suspicious.
failed.
Yeah.
Concrete
Oh.
bailed.
Concrete gets his sushi from the finest 7-Elevens.
Yeah, he puts the rice
scooted
vinegar
out-
on it and marinates.
Scooted out on his ass, trying to keep his rectum in. I think
Big yikes.
that was that was embarrassing.
Especially after he kept trying to quiz you on all these man questions.
The French make better food than the Japanese.
Well, it depends on what we're talking about. The Japanese can cook. See,
I mean, we just have more dishes.
We.
Well, yeah, I'm French.
Wee.
Everybody knows like Southern food is like the best. Like no one disputes that.
What do you mean Southern food?
not gonna lie, catfish tastes pretty bad, even if it's like.
That's
far
not
away.
a French. It's not really a French food.
Well, I don't
You
know.
tell it to the French descendants in the bayou.
All that bottom feeding
That's where I
bullshit.
live, dude. What are you talking about?
Exactly.
Theo is a French descendant in the bayou.
So then he would know that catfish is a delicacy.
Practically a swamp person.
It's not. It's not. Like when I say French food, I mean like étouffée, crawfish bisque, stuff like that.
So the only thing I can find is this article's talking about how restaurants typically are prepared in sushi restaurants, and it's just talking about aging and the way it's butchered.
Yeah, I don't know about aging raw fish. That doesn't sound like a good plan.
Yeah, remember we were specifically talking
look,
about
salmon.
tuna
Sake
and
salmon requires around 5 days of aging.
Oh my God.
Halibut requires around 5. On the other hand, according to
Yes,
fish
let me-
like bena, maguro, tuna tastes better without aging.
Of course.
Different types of fish are aged different amounts to maximize.
Well, here's the thing.
flavor,
As
just because the fish is
Sake
fresh doesn't-
just means salmon.
as fish decomposes.
Sake, S-A-K-E. Not sake.
Sake.
Leviosa.
Isn't that what
Sorry.
Leviosa.
I don't think people are typically aging salmon.
Wait, what is
typically
sake as opposed to sake?
This is just talking about like from maximizing flavor.
Sake is wine, a rice wine. Sake is whatever.
I still
time
haven't found
between-
anything about
Sake is a
marination,
rice
though.
wine.
Right.
Rice.
Right.
Rise.
Sushifact.com. Let's see.
Yeah. See, I go to
One mention of
number1sushimaker.com to get my sushi facts.
One mention of marinated. Let's see. The caloric content of a particular piece of sushi will vary greatly depending on the size of the piece, the part of the fish on which it is cut, and if the fish was marinated or treated in any particular way during serving.
Are you a sushi chef?
Sushi?
Are you a sushi chef?
Concrete's trying to email Morimoto right now.
Earlier when I was talking to Concrete, like after our discussion, he tried to call me privately. I didn't feel comfortable answering. Has he ever tried to call you guys?
Concrete's crazy, man.
Fuck no.
He wants you, big boy.
What
I
was
think
this
he realized he
distinction?
started to fuck up, maybe.
What was this distinction between sake and sake?
Well, sake is alcohol. Sake is salmon.
Why are you saying it's sake?
Sake.
Sake is rice wine.
They normally freeze the fish.
It's normal
Normally
to
freeze the fish.
Yeah, it's not a preservation. Flash frozen.
No.
And it's like in
Yeah.
a special.
What?
It's special. It's a special freezer. It goes lower than like just free. Kill all the parasites.
Yes.
Oh. Wouldn't it taste like much different though?
Couldn't. Not if it's flash frozen.
Hmm. Like even water tastes different after you freeze it.
Mm-mm.
Ugh.
The fuck did you just say?
I said even water tastes different
The
after
fuck
you
did
freeze
you just
it.
say?
You've never had frozen water.
Frozen water, huh?
You mean
Come
ice
on.
cubes?
Do me a favor, guys.
Whoa,
Okay?
now let's not
We're
get
gonna-
Frozen water.